From Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts, the Harwich Mariners are back on the road, and after being at home since Tuesday evening, the Mariners looking to make it 2 straight wins here tonight. Hello, everyone, and welcome into tonight's game broadcast here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Wyatt Copeland, joined by my broadcast partner, Devin Dobeck here. And Devin, the Mariners last night, it was all about that bullpen. 6 combined scoreless relief innings out of Sean Hart and company, and it just got nothing better than that.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic pitching. You couldn't complain one bit about it. Aiden Moza came in to shut down the last 3 innings. 6 strikeouts and 9 guys he faced the minimum, was able to get the 9-out save. He was sensational. All good positive signs for the Harwich Mariners bullpen, which has really struggled.
The Mariners bullpen has struggled as of late, but last night completely different. Bolstering thus far out of Josh Bostic with a 3-run shaky start, but the Mariners were able to work around it with a few sacrifice flies. They took a 4-run advantage in that 4th inning and never looked back, winning 7-3. Now they turn over to Veterans Field here and facing a struggling Chatham team, a team at the bottom of the Cape Cod East Division standings, as the Mariners are set to face Tyler Witt here out of Texas. And after 2 seasons with Tommy John surgery this past year, he's looking for a strong start here tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. You got a Harwich team who's still trying to find their identity ever since they had the departure of those 3 big players who we've said many times, and we'll say many times again, in Seaver King, Hunter Fitzgerald, and Kalen Culpepper. And so they're still trying to find an identity as a lineup. They had 9 walks last night. That helped them. Only 7 hits to cash in for those 7 runs, and you'll take it, but still nonetheless trying to work through something here, and hopefully they can get a good start out of what will be the last time we'll see Joe Savino.
The Mariners looking to Savino on the hill tonight, but first, Witt set to face the Harwich Mariners lineup. We'll bring you that here today as the Mariners are just about set for first pitch from Veterans Field. Leading off, the shortstop of Texas A&M, number 30, Ali Camarillo. Batting second, the designated hitter of Oregon State, number 33, Mason Guerra. Batting third, the left fielder of South Carolina, number 27, Kennedy Jones. Batting cleanup, the right fielder of Miami, number 35, Lorenzo Carrier. Batting fifth, the third baseman out of Old Dominion, number 7, Kenny Lavari. Batting sixth, the center fielder of Duke, number 24, Devin Obie. Batting seventh, the UNC Wilmington Seahawks catcher in number 11, Brian Arndt. Batting eighth, the first baseman out of Princeton, number 10, Matt Scannell. And batting ninth, the second baseman out of Pepperdine, the freshman, number 2, Jack Goodman. Well, the Mariners looking for that strong start here tonight, Devin, at 10-6 on the season, 4-3 away from White House Field. Certainly will be important to get momentum out of Witt as he forces out of the stretch early.
And it'll be a good opportunity to do it against a Chatham team who's really been struggling, as you alluded to. Just 4 wins on the season. They have an ERA hovering just over 6. It's been a tough go for the Anglers, but Tom Holliday trying to rally his troops. He's been very blanket in what he said, in that the players that are here to play, and he really just wants to give people a shot. Like, this is not regular travel ball. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League. This is the Premier League in summer baseball, and he really is looking forward to them hopefully being able to take the most out of this experience.
It's interesting you mentioned the message collectively amongst the Chatham group here, Devin. Certainly what he's been all about is trying to force a different sense of voice into the concept that he teaches to a lot of these young players. Witt is ready. He works out of the lineup, set to face Camarillo, and it misses outside for ball number 1. First pitch dialing in at 7:03 p.m. 71 degrees, a breezy night here at Veterans Field. Sunny skies, winds blowing south-southeast at 3 miles per hour. The 1-0 on the way to the Texas A&M product. Skied back behind home plate, and it goes to 1-1 here.
We'll see what Camarillo will be able to do. He's started the season strong, and then we saw him kind of go back and forth as far as his offensive goes. Had an error on defense last night, but he's been pretty great up the middle for Harwich. Someone who they thought maybe they could lose because of the caliber he brings to this lineup, but fortunately has stayed, and we'll see how he fares.
Fastball misses high above the letters to Camarillo of Chula Vista, California. Had a walk-off RBI hit the last time the Mariners and the Anglers met at White House Field, 2-1. Swing and a miss off the glove. It goes to 2-2 here. Leading off here today, something Camarillo not unfamiliar with this season. He's seen that sparsely in the lineup card for 20th year head coach Steve Englert. The Mariners coming off a 7-3 win over Wareham last night to end a 2-game skid.
And it was not a pretty win. We'll get more into it.
A win filled with blunders, 2-2. Spiked back behind home plate. We'll stay there.
Yeah, Josh.
Five combined errors between the Mariners and the Gatemen last night. And the Mariners right now looking to force Witt out of the stretch here. 6'6", 225 out of Houston, Texas, the redshirt sophomore from Texas. A 2-strike pitch. A breaking ball that misses low, 3-2. Pitch clock is on, and it's illuminated here at Veterans Field. I've yet to see that really here this season, Devin, but the pace has certainly kept well amongst the position players as well as the pitchers on the mound this season. Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss on a fastball as Camarillo goes down on strikes, and the leadoff man is gone here for Harwich.
It's funny you mentioned that about the pitch clock in the first time you've seen it. Well, I was like, why are not all teams utilizing this new feature to, improve the pace of games and make it more so that it's enjoyable to watch and you're not just sitting there watching people stand around. It kind of picks up the rhythm and stuff. But apparently these pitch clocks have been on back order because everyone really wants one with the way that baseball is shifting into that more fast-paced era. And so, yeah, finally, Chatham, one of the few teams, and they went for it in the fall.
Guerra spikes it into left field, but it's a line drive out here for the two-hole hitter, the freshman just lining out there. It was right into the glove of Schubart, and left will bring you the Chatham defense here at 4-11-1 on the season, 5.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East standings. Schubart, Etzel, Miller, Green from left to right in the outfield. On the infield corners, Casarilla, Kent. At shortstop, Fabian. Second, Antonacci, the battery mate to Witt tonight, Hobson. First pitch on the way to Kennedy. Jones fouled back for strike one. It has sped up the game this season. A lot of teams across college baseball certainly in favor of the accelerated pace. Clouds rolling in from center fields. The floodlights just illuminating here. The 0-1 jammed over towards the right side. Bouncing ball for Antonacci. Fires on to first as Witt covers the bag for the final out of the inning. A 1-2-3 job here in the opening frame for Witt out of Texas as the Mariners go down in order. A strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out going into the home half of the first. We're coming back at you here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the first here at Veterans Field. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless thus far. Chatham forcing Harwich to go down in order, bringing you the starting lineups here with Joe Savino, now of Virginia, on the mound. He winds and fires the first pitch. Lined over the head of Savino, back up the mound. Camarillo at the lip of the outfield grass. Fires on a first, and it's in time. An excellent play as Camarillo is moving to his left, and there's a ground out to start off here for Chatham. Leading off, the center fielder, number 12, Matthew Etzel of Southern Mississippi. Batting second, the shortstop of Florida, number 3, Derek Fabian. Batting third, the left fielder, number 35, Nolan Schubart. Batting cleanup, the right fielder of Austin P, number 13, Lyle Miller Green. Batting fifth, the designated hitter of NC State, number 41, Carter Trice. Savino set to face Fabian here. Deals the first pitch, a fastball on the inner half for strike number 1. 6-3 ground out starting off Chatham's lineup here. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 22, Xavier Casarilla. Pitch, a fastball on the upper outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2 here. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 60, Caden Kent, and rounding out the starting nine, the catcher, number 37, Caden Hobson. Pitch spiked back behind home plate. He'll stay at 0-2.
Some serious fog or smoke hovering over the field. I mean, this is some difficult visibility for fly balls, and it kind of came out of nowhere. It was clear skies just 10 minutes before first pitch.
0-2 from Savino. Just misses outside. Fabian stays alive in the count here. Yeah, you're right. It's certainly blanketing here in the outfield as the floodlights become fully illuminated here long before dusk as well. A 1-2 from Savino. Right-hander deals a pop-up into left field. It's going back into center, and it's going to drop for a base hit between Camarillo and Obi. The fog certainly impeding for what you would think on that play. It just dropped into shallow left center, and there's one on.
And just for those of you at home who are wondering, why do they not have the camera on the field? Why do they have it on themselves? That's pretty selfish. Well, we are currently sitting, I would say, above the bleachers behind a pole. So your visibility would probably be where it is now, sitting on your couch. So if we were able to get some better video for you, we would. Just want to put that out there.
2-1 away here for Nolan Schubart. First pitch lofted out towards left field, and he'll stay in center for Obi as he moves to his right and makes the catch. First pitch, 1 out here for Schubart, as there are now 2 away, a ground out and a fly out, as there's still a 1-out base runner. Chatham and Harwich still scoreless here in the bottom of the first.
Lyle Miller-Green now digs in, and Wyatt, talk about a guy who can hit a baseball. Lyle Miller-Green, home run derby champ last season in the Cape League in 2022, took down Brock Wilkin of the Harwich Mariners, who, as everybody has seen, has set records at Wake Forest, potential first-round pick. He's been fantastic. Take a look for Lyle Miller-Green as this fog, they might have to pause this game. I can't see the right fielder, Wyatt.
It's gone from blanketing to more blanketing here. On first, Fabian, the first outside, called for a strike here to Miller-Green. It goes to 1-1.
And if there's one thing these two teams know about, it's a delay. We've had 2 games rained out with the Chatham Anglers, and now some fog rolling in. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets called shortly.
Pitch lofted out towards left center field, almost unplayable for Obi as he can't make the play. Bounces in front of him as he was moving to his right. There are runners on the corners. Still 2 away here. No score in the bottom of the first from Veterans Field. Chatham and Harwich meeting for the second time on the season. Devin, that fog is making the ball much more difficult, almost opaque to see out there.
Yeah, and I don't really know what to think of it because Devin Obi, that's a ball he has 10 out of 10 times. And I'm going to take it that the fog is impeding with him. I mean, that was a fly ball to center field, and he got a late break on it. Maybe you saw something different, but I think this fog is a serious factor early on.
Outfielders are maybe about half visible per normal. First pitch on the way to Carter Trice outside from Savino for ball number 1. Fabian on third, Miller-Green on first. 2-out base hit, moving runners on the corners here. Harwich wearing its Road Navy uniforms with red block lettering and Harwich across the chest, white outlining. 1-0, a called strike on a changeup low. It goes to 1-1.
Starting to clear up a little bit, which is good.
The fog was well apparent in Gov Fuller Fields when the Mariners took an 8-1 victory earlier this week. A 1-1 from Savino. Breaking ball comes down the chute. It's 1-2. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Runners on the corners against Joe Savino, the right-hander out of Virginia, formerly of Elon. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless. 2 hits already for Chatham. The 1-2. A swing and a miss. Fastball blown by Trice that time as Savino wins the battle. He gets a strikeout, a flyout, and a ground out here in the bottom of the first as Chatham leaves runners on the corners. Chatham scoring no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and leaves 2 on. Scoreless going into the second here from Veterans Field. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Welcome back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network as Joe Savino gets his first inning of pitching. Joe Savino came in as the reliever against Chatham last time where it went to extra innings in the 10th. Joe Savino only allowed 2 hits, 1 run with 3 walks, and had the crucial double play in the 10th inning to allow Ali Camarillo to get the walk-off hit that was needed to secure the victory over the Anglers. It was a very intense game. Josefino played his role. Started off hot tonight. Let's see if he can continue.
One thing to monitor, as Sean mentioned, getting that second win of the season, that walk-off win against Chatham. Had 3 strikeouts through 2 wins this season. Also pitched on opening day against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. The first pitch on the way to Lorenzo Carrier misses low inside for ball number 1. Mariners going down in order in the top of the first. If you're just joining us, Joe Savino working out of a mini jam, straining runners on the corners. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here in the second. The 1-0 to Carrier goes way above the head, and it's 2-0 here.
Carrier coming off an 0 for 2 game. Did have an RBI and a run, a sac fly for him. Did walk twice too, so was productive despite not having a hit.
It's a player that's become quite versatile in the lineup for Steve Englert at 2-0. Called a strike on the lower half. It's 2-1. Witt has shown command thus far, Devin, sending the Mariners down 1-2-3 back in the first. Only dealt 1 3-ball pitch as he looks to get back in this one here. Behind in the count, 2-1 with none away. Pitch. Fastball high, goes to 3-1 here. Meanwhile, Carrier bringing 6 hits, 9 RBIs, 5 walks in his first 8 games with the Mariners this season after hitting .264 at Miami in his second year. The 3-1. Spiked back behind home plate. It goes to 3-2. Another payoff pitch here. Carrier forcing himself back into this count.
He's trying to fill that void that Hunter Fitzgerald had of being the power threat in the middle of the lineup. And once he gets that production up, definitely could be a good replacement.
Payoff pitch. A slider swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 strikeouts here for Witt. He has 4 up and 4 down here in his latest start on the season. Certainly looking in full control as there's 1 away.
Yeah, he's been looking fantastic thus far, and this is a Chatham team. They probably play at the longest pace throughout the Cape Cod Baseball League, and that's because they give up so many runs on the hill. A 6.26 earned run average. Opponents hitting upwards of 270 against the Chatham Anglers. They've really had their struggles on the hill.
First pitch to Kenny Lavari. The southpaw lofts it foul to the left side for strike 1.
And when you look at the Mariner pitching staff, they have the lowest opponent batting average at 200, which is sensational. Their starting pitching's been great, still working on the bullpen.
0-1 from Witt. Fastball swung on a miss. It's 0-2. No score here in the top of the second from Veterans Field. Harwich and Chatham meeting for the second time on the season. Nobody on here for Lavari. The third baseman out of Old Dominion. Witt with a slow wind and fire. The 0-2 lofted down the left field side. It's going to be playable for Casarilla, and he makes a leaping catch at the net.
Wow.
Xavier Casarilla all the way from third base. He lost the hat on the way as he stuck a leg up on the protective netting down the third base side as there are 2 away with the acrobatic catch.
Yeah, that was really sensational play. To get up on the net like that and make a grab, really nice job that time by the third baseman. Save his pitcher a couple more pitches.
Now 2 away here for Devin Obie, the outfielder out of Duke. On a 4-game on-base streak here, nobody on to work with 2 away. The first pitch jammed on the left side, but it rolls foul.
And Obie's been another really pleasant surprise. Came in from Duke hitting right around the 220 mark. Not really a huge average guy, but has found ways to get on base. Had the golden sombrero in his debut, 4 strikeouts, and has turned it on ever since.
0-1, a slider that just goes high at the letters. It's 1-1. 2 down here in the top of the second. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless from Veterans Field. Strong crowd filing in. Near capacity here, for that matter. The 1-1 from Witt. Takes a bounce in the dirt. Obie with a check swing. It's 2-1. 2 strikeouts thus far for the Texas starter in Witt. Has mixed in the ground ball contact, and he's gotten some help from an acrobatic play with Xavier Casarilla going all the way to the net just now. The 2-1 to Obie. Another check swing. It goes low. It's 3-1. Obie 1 for 4 with an RBI in that 7-3 home win last night against Wareham. It stopped a 2-game skid for the Harwich Mariners. Witt set at the belt, a slow wind and fire, 3-1. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. It's 3-2.
And that was ball 4 wide. That pitch maybe 2 feet out of the zone in the other batter's box.
Mariners have needed hits early as they exhibited in their 5-game winning streak last week. We'll try and get that here with a 2-out spark from Obie. Payoff pitch. Lofted high and deep out towards left field, running to his right. Schubart in front of the warning track. He looks up and he makes the catch underneath the fading fog for the final out of the second inning. It was allowed out, but it's another 1-2-3 inning from the Texas right-handed starter in Witt. A strikeout, a foul out, and a fly out as the Mariners have 6 up and 6 down here going into the bottom of the second. Still scoreless from Veterans Field between the Mariners and the Anglers. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's a strong Mariners team against a struggling Chatham Anglers team, but going into the bottom of the second, it's still scoreless as Joe Savino, the right-handed starter, and Elon transfer, treks back out onto the mound. He faces Sam Atanacci, Xavier Casarilla, and Caden Kent due up here, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Wyatt Copeland, Devin Dobeck here. The first pitch swung on and hit fouled on the left side for strike number 1. A Chatham team with the second fewest RBIs in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. They are 3-3-1 at home this year. 0-1, a fastball that goes down the pipe. It's 0-2 here quickly to Antonacci, the leadoff hitter. 2 hits back in the first all the while. Devin, maybe a sign of promise as what it can materialize down the stretch here. 0-2. Spiked foul down the left side. It stays at 0-2.
And Savino's done a decent job of getting ahead of hitters, not even tonight, but in games past. But unfortunately, the walks, hitters do a great job of working Savino. So once he's ahead, they do a good job of battling back, and that's when he gets into trouble.
A 2-strike pitch. The right-hander misses low. Bounces in the dirt. It goes to 1-2. A nice buzz here at Veterans Field tonight. Crowd still making its way in. There's some blanketing fog. The 1-2. Spiked over towards the left side and in the glove of Camarillo. He made a short hop at the lip of the outfield grass as the Texas A&M shortstop puts away the first out here in the second.
Nice grab there. All positioning that time. Didn't have to move too much, but the Mariners will take the out. Loud piece of contact. Got to say that the Anglers have been able to jump on Savino. He's not someone who's going to blow away a team with a bunch of strikeouts, but if he can get outs, hit on the ground, in the air, that time on a line, that's what's going to make him productive and go deep into the ballgame. Xavier
Casarilla, the 7-hole hitter, watching one low for strike number 1 here as the Mariners and the Anglers are scoreless in the bottom of the second with 1 down. The 0-1, it goes low. Savino working quickly. It's been a trait of his that seemingly has helped him develop a rhythm, and he's been able to get back in counts because of that as well throughout times this season. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses low. It's 2-1. He has a changeup. He has a slider. Those are convincing pitches here to get ahead in the count. Nobody on here for Chatham. The 2-1. Down the pipe, it goes to 2-2. Casarilla of Seminole State College in Oklahoma. The 2-2. Misses low. The count runs full here to the sophomore infielder, native of Fort Worth, Texas. The 3-2 from Savino. Swing and a miss. Casarilla goes down on strikes in his first time up here tonight. There are 2 away here in the bottom of the second and 3 straight here for Joe Savino.
Moving right along into inning number 2. When we think back to last night in the clip that we were playing at, 70 minutes to play the first 2 innings. So far, only been 24. So definitely a much bigger change in pace. And I think a lot of that has to do with Savino's rhythm on the mound, pitching so quickly. It's only 6 seconds off the pitch clock by the time he gets the ball back until he releases it.
First pitch missing the outer half to Caden Kent, the first baseman for ball 1. The final 11 batters for the Wareham game in last night were retired. Credible pitching from the relief staff last night for Harwich. 1-0 takes a bounce in front of home plate. It's 2-0 here. The Mariners got their strikeouts at Aiden Moza, Sean Hard, both their best outings on the season. That's what you're going to need if the Mariners are going to be able to spark together another win streak. Base pass empty here with 2 away. The 2-0. Lofted down the left field line, foul. It's 2-1. Forcing the foul ball contact has been an early sign for Savino here. It's how he can get back into these counts. 2 strikeouts thus far for Savino. Out of the windup, the 2-1. Watch that just above the knees. It's 2-2.
Got to be careful where you put this 2-strike pitch now. Nice off-speed pitch, maybe setting him up for the fastball, but Kent, 279 hitter, great when putting the ball in play.
2-2, a fastball that just goes high and inside. Full count here. 2 down here in the bottom of the second from Veterans Field. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless. Savino with the 3-2. Spike down the right field line and fair. That gets back all the way to the wall. A wide turnaround first for Kent. He's off for second, and he will score. He will slide into second standing up. A 2-out double here for Caden Kent. He has his first hit of the inning here, and in his first time up, he gives Chatham its 3rd hit on the night as Savino works out of the stretch.
That's exactly what you couldn't do. A solid hitter, power on power, and Kent's job at the bottom of the lineup is to get on for the top. Exactly what he did there. Do your job. That's what this Angler team has to do to get back on track, and a really good start right there. Unfortunately, just the 2 outs.
Anglers a team with the 4th lowest on-base percentage entering its latest home ball game here at Veterans Field. The fog once again making its way from right to left across the outfield and left to right across the infield as well. Savino looks back at second. The first pitch to Caden Hobson. Watch that high for ball number 1.
Seems as though that fog has a vendetta against the Mariners. Whenever they're on defense, it seems to come out.
Yeah.
Chatham gets out there and clears out of the way.
Well, home field advantage.
1-0 goes low. Mother Nature seems to be present here tonight.
An Anglers fan.
An Anglers fan. On second, Kent after a 2-out double down the right field line against right-hander Joe Savino. Still scoreless here in the bottom of the second from Veterans Field. The 2-0. A fastball inside just above the belts, 3-0. Savino straining runners on the corners in the bottom of the first. Anglers got 2 hits. Hobson, the southpaw, waits. The pitch, a fastball down the chute, goes to 3-1 here.
You don't want to lose Hobson here. Find a way to get this out. Make him put it in play. Make them beat you. You do not want to dip back into this top of the order.
Mariners trailed twice last night early. 3-1, grounded over towards the right side, moving to his left. Goodman gets up, fires to first from the outfield grass for the final out of the second inning. So Savino works around a 2-out double from Caden Kent, the first baseman, as the Anglers come up and bring forward to the plate, score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 1 stranded in scoring position. No score between the Mariners and the Anglers going into the third here from Veterans Field, a fog-filled Veterans Field. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Two innings through here at Veterans Field. The Mariners taking their first trip to Chatham of the season after a walk-off 5-4 victory. They're looking at Joe Savino, the right-hander out of Virginia, the Elon transfer, certainly working out of different situations and already straining 3 in scoring position.
Yeah, but at least they're getting on base. The Mariners have yet to do that. They've only had the minimum brought up to the plate. 6 up, 6 down now for the starter in Witt. He's been fantastic, and we'll see if he can keep mowing through this lineup. Mariner batting order has really struggled. I mean, you think back to last night, they had the 7 hits, but a bunch of them in bulk didn't have consistent offense, and we'll see if they can produce here.
It did seem as though last night the walks got the offense going for the Harwich Mariners. Need to see the bats starting to get hot tonight. or else this one could be in trouble with Chatham on the base pads early in this one.
Mariners trailed 3-1 going into that third inning yesterday. The Mariners were able to get that fourth inning spark. It was 4 runs that certainly lifted the Mariners, gave them that much-needed momentum on their home field. Their 5th win at home this season. We'll see how it continues here as Witt of Texas takes the mound here and certainly looking to be in command thus far. He's worked in the strikeouts, the ground ball contact as well, certainly key against the Mariners lineup that's looking to new components.
Yeah, and he's had everything working. There's no way around it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll see if he's able to continue that against the bottom 3 in the Mariner order, who's a scary bottom 3, I might add. Honestly, this could be interchangeably the top 3 in the order. They've been fantastic all season long between Brian Arndt, Matt Scannell, and Jack Goodman.
You mentioned Goodman, certainly off to a good start in his first couple of games, but it's going to be the returning catcher for Harwich this season in Brian Arndt. Due up with Matt Scannell and Jack Goodman here, the lower third of the lineup. The Mariners with no hits thus far. They're looking for a base runner. The first pitch, curveball that goes down the pipe for strike number 1. Arndt had the Mariners' game-winning home run late against Brewster during that 5-game win streak as he watches a breaking ball down the middle again. It's 0-2. Just underway here in the top of the third, the Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here from a fog-filled Veterans Field. The fog has grown dense once again, the wind blowing from left to right in the outfield. A 2-strike pitch from Witt, swing and a miss. His 3rd strikeout here on the night as the Mariners have 7 up and 7 down here, and everything is rolling thus far for Witt.
I think that was 3 straight off-speed pitches as well. So Brian Arndt probably sitting on the fastball, and then that 3rd curveball came. He was not ready, swung right over it. Really nice pitcher's pitch from Witt. He was fantastic there.
6'6", 225, the Houston native, playing 3 seasons at Texas thus far. Deals a first pitch fastball high for ball number 1 to Matt Scannell up for the first time here today. Mariners going down in order in the first and the second. Looking to Scannell here to get on base. A wind and fire and a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 here to Scannell, the San Antonio, Texas native. Quiet at the plate as of late. The Mariners looking to 3 sacrifice flies in order to stay in the ball game yesterday before taking their first and only lead. 1-1. Line back up the middle, off the mound, and it goes into center field. A 1-out base hit here for Matt Scannell as he represents the Mariners' first base runner on the night, and that's the contact that Steve Englert needs out of left-handed hitter.
And that's exactly what you need out of Matt Scannell. As you mentioned, Wyatt, he has really struggled as of late. Just 1 hit in his last 7 games. Granted, we'll call it 6 because one of them was pinch running now that I look at it once more. But really trying to find that swing again. He's tied for the team high with 13 runs batted in. We'll see what he can do this time.
That brings up Jack Goodman in his 3rd game, the freshman of Pepperdine. Right-hander stands in and watches it outside for strike number 1. Witt has gotten into full count battles here with the Mariners lineup in his first time around, but he's only allowed a base runner as he faces the 9-hole hitter in Goodman. Check back over at first, unsuccessful as Scannell dives in safely.
And you know, you gotta check Matt Scannell after the last 2 games, stealing his first 2 bases in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Not a guy you'd really think about stealing your bases.
That's a good point, Sean.
1 on, 1 out. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here in the top of the 3rd. Runner takes off. The 0-1 takes a skip in the dirt. The throw down to second. It's not going to be in time as it gets into center field, and Scannell turned his head around too late as he won't be able to get an extra base, and there's a runner in scoring position with Harwich.
Tony Romo, I guess, huh? Signed you up for the color job.
Look at that. I mean, Matt Scannell, right after that little insight, just, you know, takes second with ease there. Now a 3-game streak. That might lead the league for a hot streak with stolen bases.
The 3rd stolen base on the season for Scannell out of Princeton of the Ivy League this season. The Mariners with their first base runner, he gets in a scoring position here after it was 7 up and 7 down here for Witt out of Texas. Now he faces Goodman in a 1-1 count with 1 on.
Fog's return. Can't even see the right fielder.
Pitch boomed back behind home plate. It'll be 0-2 here to Goodman.
Oh, they're pausing the game now. This has happened twice.
It's really bad out there at this point. This could be worse than what we were seeing earlier.
I don't know, though. The fly ball to Obi, it was the same visibility, in my opinion. They're going to do a delay now. I feel like you got to – the Mariners had to play defense for this. It almost cost them a run.
Scoreless between Harwich and Chatham as the defense clears here for the Anglers. The umpiring crew here today, the home plate umpire is Tom Corelli at first base, is Al Bosdell at third base, is Mike Mackey, as Tom Holliday, the Chatham Anglers manager, now comes out with Mark Thibault, one of the assistants for the Harwich Mariners. Still having a word with the umpiring crew. Holliday with a short sleeve cut royal blue sweatshirt, white pants. Chatham wearing its red uniforms with beige lettering across in Cape Cod on the chest. Serif font with beige numbers as well across the lower left side rather. It looks like Holliday might be contending on how long this might be on pause.
I would imagine that's what it would be. Probably just trying to figure out the detail. I'm sure this happens a decent amount of the time here in Chatham, and yeah, I know it's really bad. I can't see the home run wall or the fire station across the street.
And Sean, the sunny skies have certainly cleared. It's all clouds from here. The floodlights are on. We're not even before dusk here.
This is a really tough spot. No one expected this one. Showing up to this game is beautiful, sunny outside, gorgeous day. Probably one of the best days so far during the season. And this is just a really tough showing. Everyone wanted to watch a good baseball game. The games between these two teams have kept being delayed with the rain, with the sprinkling. And Mother Nature, again, does not want to see these two teams face each other after that outstanding Game 1.
20-minute fog delay is the latest update that we have, Wyatt. So we'll take a break, I guess.
We'll step away. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless. 4 combined hits, 3 for Chatham, 1 for the Mariners on a 1-out single from Matt Scannell. Well, the Mariners scoreless here from Veterans Field. We'll be back in a moment. Keep it locked here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
That timer that you see in the top right of your screen is actually the fog delay timer. The umpires are conjourning now with Tom Holliday, so we'll have probably some more baseball within the next 5 minutes. Bear with us here. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
And we're back here from Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts for our producer, Sean Sears, and for my broadcast partner, Devin Doback. Wyatt Copeland here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And guys, 20-minute delay. Fog has started to subside here from the outfield at Veterans Field, but all the while, the clouds are still around, the floodlights are on, and we're finally about set for the resumption of play here.
We should have had a little meeting. We should have messed with the viewers and told them that the game was actually going to be called after all that. That's what I was thinking, but improv for another time. We are just about ready to play some baseball here, and from our understanding, it looks like some people wanted to play, some didn't, and luckily we will continue to play here, as this would have been our third time postponing a game against Chatham.
The Mariners had a rainout against the Anglers, not this past Saturday, the prior Saturday, had it rescheduled for this prior week, and then a sprinkle out, as it was deemed, ultimately canceling that initial rescheduled game. So now it'll be a rescheduled game for this coming Monday. The Mariners and the Anglers will be back here at Veterans Field after they return home tomorrow. But for the time being, it has been a strong start out of Joe Savino. He had left runners on the corners in the first inning. He had left a runner in scoring position in second. The Mariners, meanwhile, have a runner on second here in Matt Scannell after he had a one-out single to center field, or to right field, I should say, as the Mariners now with Jack Goodman at the plate here. It was a stolen base from Scannell to get into scoring position here. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here at the one-out mark at the top of the third. We were just starting to tell you how Goodman had gotten off to a strong start in his first two games, 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. With the starter out of Texas steals the 1-2, and it goes low to 2-2 here.
And why I just got a tidbit from our cameraman, Anders Sailing, that I guess the issue that the players are having, it's also a personnel thing. They're having trouble seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand because there's a white house deep in center field. Combining that with the fog, visibility is really difficult to see the baseball. That was from Kennedy Jones, the Mariner left fielder, who said that.
The 2-2 with 1 away. Fastball swung on and missed. Goodman goes down on strikes for the first time here tonight, and there are 2 strikeouts here in the inning for the starter in Witt out of Texas. That high fastball just a little too quick that time for Goodman out of Pepperdine, as that will flip the lineup card for Ali Camarillo. The Mariners still have their biggest chance all evening long after getting that one-out single from Matt Scannell here in the third inning before the delay. The Mariners initially had 7 up and 7 retired here. Meanwhile, for Joe Savino, giving up 3 hits thus far, but it's still scoreless between the Mariners and the Anglers with 2 away here in the third from Veterans Fields. The first pitch, a fastball swung on a miss from Ali for strike number 1. Well, Ali Camarillo, we've talked about it a little bit early on here tonight. He had that RBI base hit to walk it off for the Mariners against the Anglers in extras back at White House Field during that 5-game winning streak. We'll see what he can do here. Witt out of the stretch, just taking his time, that slow windup, and he deals one low, and it gets away from the catcher Hobson. That'll send Scannell down to third. A great read that time, still a good block all the while from the battery mate.
Yeah, no, great read to get ahead of that. Matt Scannell, a high IQ base runner, and you see it right there, Exhibit A. Nice block by the catcher and Hobson, but just gets too far away from him. Scannell got a really good jump once he saw it hit the ground.
It's a wild pitch here from Witt, the first on his card on the evening. The 1-1. Camarillo grounds it over towards the left side. Fabian loses it on the way on at first, and he throws it on, and it's going to be in time.
Oh, I don't know.
Derek Fabian, the shortstop out of Florida, bobbled it on the initial catch. And all the while, he was able to recover in time as the Mariners are unable to get their 4th hit on the night. The Mariners bring 4 to the plate here in the third. They score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 1 on base in Scannell at third. Scoreless going into the home half of the third here from Veterans Field. The Mariners and the Anglers knotted up, scoreless. We'll be back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Hello and welcome back to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network as we check around the league for the scores. The Katuitt Cavaliers up 6-3 against the Wareham Gatemen in the top of the ninth. The Brewster Whitecaps down 4-6 against the Falmouth Commodores in the bottom of the seventh. Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Bourne Braves are knotted up at threes in the top of the sixth. The Orleans Firebirds at home up 4-0 against the YD Red Sox. And here we are knotted up at zeros going into the bottom of the third. The YD Red Sox might get taken down by the Orleans Firebirds. That could have standings implications if Harwich is able to pull this one out.
Yeah, said it perfectly. First place on the line if the Firebirds can get a win and the Mariners can hold off Chatham here.
Sean, thanks for the update. The first pitch on the way to Matthew Etzel on the outer half as it goes for ball number 1 here. Grounded out to shortstop back in the first. Joe Savino out of Virginia working quickly as he deals a changeup on the outer half. It's 1-1 here. Just underway here in the bottom of the third. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here from Veterans Field. Still a fog-filled Veterans Field. 1-1. Chopped foul towards the right side. 1-2.
What? Interference maybe? Catcher's interference?
Oh, that's a tough way to give up a base here in the bottom of the third.
Always some weird things that happen when these two clubs play.
And it's interesting. I saw something in the Associated Press in the Major League Baseball catcher's interference rankings, guys. The numbers have only gone up this season. It's been interesting. To this point, there are about 60 of that instances. This is the first pitch to Derek Fabian. Misses inside and gets him off the plate for ball number 1. Fabian with a single to center back in the first. Chatham leaving runners on the corners. Joe Savino working out of a couple of mini jams thus far. Pitch. Breaking ball down the chute goes to 1-1. Still none away. The Mariners and the Anglers scoreless here in the bottom of the third from Veterans Field. Catcher's interference has Matthew Etzel, the leadoff hitter, on first here. The 1-1 from Savino. Swing and a miss high. It's 1-2.
And why? Talking about those catcher interferences, why do you think that is? What is happening with catchers nowadays in the major leagues to make that happen?
You consider their placing as well as where they're bringing the glove as well, how quickly they're bringing it down. That's often what runs into an issue. The 1-2 goes low on a fastball.
I wonder if the pitch clock has anything to do with that and them having time to set up. I would imagine no, but who knows?
Pitch clock is here at Veterans Field. It's just behind home plate on the brick backstop. The 2-2 from Savino. Breaking ball lashed into left field, and it's going to go just foul here. Just a little bit early that time was Derek Fabian, the shortstop of Florida, a team that just went to the College World Series for that matter. Native of Ocala, Florida, this past season with the Gators hitting .290, reached base just under 39% of the time. Just entered the transfer portal, the 2-2. Broken bat hit over towards the right side, and it's dribbling over towards the lip of the outfield grass. On to first is Goodman as it gets away from the first baseman and Scannell as Arndt fields it just outside the home plate circle. As there'll be runners on first and second here.
Yeah, just a tough break for Goodman. I'm not sure how they're going to rule that. They are going to rule it an error on Goodman. So they're saying he could have got the out. That's a tough play, ranging all that way and then throwing across your body on the run when the ball's pulling you away. They're going to rule an error on Goodman.
Jack Goodman in his third game here on the season. He's got the starting nods at second. Still none away here. The Mariners' first error on the night. The Mariners also are nearing 20 on the season as Savino now works out the stretch with runners on first and second, nobody out. M's and Anglers scoreless. First pitch on the way to Nolan Schubert goes low and inside for ball 1. Flied out to center field back in the first. Huge opportunity for the Anglers to score the first runs on the night. Savino working from the middle of the rubber, the 1-0. Fastball swung on a miss. It goes to 1-1. Command on the fastball has been there for Savino, and it'll be interesting to see how he continues to command the zone with the alternate pitches that he's offered thus far. Two on, nobody out, the 1-1. Breaking ball clips the inner half, and it goes to 1-2.
And you know, Savino is no stranger to having runners on base, low out counts. He knows how to get out of these situations. This is the guy you want to see on the mound for Harwich in this situation.
1-2 to the lefty. A fastball that runs high. It's 2-2.
I think you make a great point there, Sean. We think back to the 2 double play balls he was able to get in the last game against Chatham at the end of the ball game, and now he's already stranded 3 runners on base through the first 2 innings here tonight.
The 2-2. Lined over towards the right side. Quick play for Scannell. He goes on a second for 1, and they get the out there, but that's all they get, as the Mariners now work with runners on first and third on the fielder's choice. A 4-6 fielder's choice for that matter, as there's 1 away here in the third.
Nice job by Scannell that time to be able to have the intelligence to go to second with that one instead of try for the pitcher and Savino, who was hustling over to the bag. That was difficult play, but the Mariners executed perfectly.
Right in the 3-4 hole as Scannell gets at least 1. Now the first pitch on the way to Lyle Miller Green as it goes outside for ball 1. Still no score here from the bottom of the third. 1 away with runners on the corners here against Joe Savino. 1-0. Goes outside 2-0. Lyle Miller Green up for the second time here today. Hit a 2-out single to left field back in the first. 6'6", 230 out of Burke, Virginia. 2-0. Roped into left field, but it goes just foul.
He's got some serious pop. Looks like a grown man walking around. Mustache, long hair. Really a threat in that right-hand side of the box, and a really good guy to have in your cleanup spot if you're Coach Holliday.
Etzel on third, Schubart on first, the 2-1. Just misses low and outside. It's 3-2. 3-1 rather. Mariners have had their chances early here. And Matt Scannell on third on a wild pitch back in the third. 3-1. On the outer half, now it's 3-2.
This is a huge pitch coming up with runners on the corners, just 1 away, and Miller Green, someone who can give it a ride. You don't want to leave this too much over the plate or he will make you pay.
The payoff pitch. Slider just misses low and away. And it's a walk here as the bases go loaded for Chatham. On third, Etzel. On second, Schubart. On first, Miller Green with a 1-out walk. And the ground ball double play opportunity still available as Savino well accustomed to getting out of major jams, as Steve Angler, the 20th-year head coach for Harwich, will go out to have a word with a right-handed starter out of Virginia.
And hopefully we see that stallion sorcery that we've seen before, try to get this double play, get Harwich out of this sticky situation here early in this game.
Another thing you have to factor in, of course, with the delay is that Joe Savino, who was the starter, who is the starter, he had to sit on the bench for that whole 20 minutes, and then his team went back to offense. So he probably sat around for 30, 35 minutes, you know, kind of cooling down after being in the zone from his start, and I think that definitely has had an impact on his control. We'll see if he can battle through the adversity, but definitely a real thing that happens, especially in baseball, when your team even will have a long offensive inning. You'll see the pitcher come back out and be a little shaky, and Savino kind of going through all the signs of that right now. We'll see if he can bounce back.
Senior out of Ronkonkoma, New York, set to transfer to Virginia after 3 seasons at Elon. And guys, he's worked under the most immense pressure this season here in his second win of the season. That walk-off win against Chatham, he pitched the final 3 innings, and he pitched 2 2/3 innings on opening day as well. The Mariners needed a 7-out save against Yarmouth Dennis the first day of the season. Here's the first pitch to Carter Trice. Called for a strike low. Bless you, Devin.
As the headset comes off.
0-1 on the way to the NC State hitter.
Thank you.
Goes low and away. It's 1-1.
They really get the full experience with the all-time broadcaster cam. You can see all the sneezes and coughs that I endure on a 9-inning basis.
Fog has not entirely subsided from the outfields. The 1-1. Boomed foul back behind home plate. It goes to 1-2.
Yeah, this is kind of that sketchy territory. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse, because I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's going to be another delay or a cancellation, I'd say we're at like a 6-7 right now. Hopefully it doesn't get much worse.
It's starting to come in a big way here.
1-2. Lofted out towards left field into left center as it gets down for a base hit. One comes across the score, and Etzel right behind him is Schubart as he will score standing up. A 2-run RBI base knock for Carter Trice, and after he struck out in the first, he gives Chatham its first lead. It's 2-0 here in the third.
Yeah, Savino just hung one right there, and it was whacked right into the gap. An easy 2-run RBI base hit. And that's just unfortunately the circumstance, and that will be all for Joe Savino. Coach Angler going to come give him the hook.
Etzel and Schubart score as Savino, after going 2 2/3 innings, facing a 2-run deficit here, will get it from Steve Englert. 20th year head coach. Still having words here as the Mariners look for relief here. A 2-0 deficit for the Mariners on the road at Veterans Field for the first time this season. We'll step away. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Two to nothing deficit for Harwich with one away here in the bottom of the third. Sam Antonacci coming up to bat here against a new pitcher for the Mariners in the right-hander out of Florida State, and Andrew Armstrong at 6'2", 153, the sophomore out of Gainesville, Georgia. Gave up a sole run to Orleans through 4 innings in that 2-1 home win during that 5-game winning streak. As he comes in and faces an immediate jam here with Trice on first after a 2-run base hit, and Lyle Miller-Green on second here. Armstrong, the southpaw, deals, and it gets away from the catcher and Arntz just off the glove, as that will send both runners in a scoring position, still with one away, and the control an issue right out of the gates here for Armstrong.
And as obvious as it may sound, Arntz got to have that one. That just a ball to the outside part of the plate, unless he got crossed up and thought the pitch was going to be something that it wasn't. That's one he's got to have, just about a foot off to his left, and just went off the glove, cost his team an extra 90 feet.
Armstrong, 2 starts on the season. Here's the pitch. Taken high for a strike. It goes to 1-1. One away, 2 in scoring position. Miller-Green on third. Trice on second here on the wild pitch. A lefty-lefty battle, the 1-1. Slider dips outside. It goes to 2-1 here to Antonacci. Lined out to shortstop back in the second, as the Anglers lead the Mariners 2-0 here with one away in the bottom of the third. 3 hits through the first 2 innings for the Anglers, and through 3 innings, it's only 1 hit for the Mariners. The 2-1, grounded over towards the left side. Lavari comes home for 1. Arntz pumps down to set first.
It was not a, oh my goodness, Arndt. That's a mental error.
No play made at the plate in time, as there was no force. The bases were not loaded. And Arndt stepped on home plate, and instead of making the tag, Devin, he thought otherwise.
Yeah, this was an easy ground ball to Lavari at third, and Miller-Green elected to go home, and he was dead to rights. I mean, he was not even 2/3 of the way there by the time Arndt had the ball, and he casually jogged in, and then they both realized it's not a forced play, and Miller-Green able to tap in there, and that's another really big mistake for the Mariners there, beating themselves up.
An infield single to third base here for Sam Antonacci as he goes to 1 for 2 on the day. As Armstrong works with runners on the corners here. First pitch, line back for Xavier Casarilla for strike number 1.
That's just two mental mistakes that we saw from the catcher and Arndt. One letting the ball pass when it should have been caught, and that one there. You just can't let that happen in a game like this.
Mariners caught sleeping at home that time. The 0-1. Just misses outside. 1-1 here to Casarilla. Sophomore out of Seminole State College of Oklahoma. He transferred in from Wichita State. Hit .371 this season for SSC. Lefty-righty battle. Pickoff back over to first. Scannell is going to have the runner in Antonacci in a rundown. The throw instead going home, and Arndt is unable to make the tag. Into second, Antonacci. Trice read it perfectly from third as he darted home with Arndt looking over to second. And still with one out, a runner on second, and a 4-0 lead for the Anglers.
And there's another one. Another mental mistake. It just seems like they don't know what they're doing out there right now. I really don't know what to say.
I mean, yeah, that was Matt Scannell. The Mariners executed this play perfectly. You sacrificed the 90 feet to take the out at the plate. And as soon as the runner and Trice took off for home, a good throw has him by a mile, but it was a bad throw to the plate. This one not on Arndt, and yeah, just another really bad error. This is the third arguably error, we'll quote, in the inning.
1-1, bounced over towards the left side, past the diving glove of Camarillo. He gets up, fires on to third, but it won't be in time.
And yeah, you think back to the error that Goodman made earlier in the inning that allowed Derek Fabian to reach. That's another out right there. Then you have the out that should have been Lyle Miller Green at the plate, and then the out that should have been Trice at the plate. It's cost them 2 runs, and they should have been they're basically playing a 5 or 6 out inning right now.
So a pair of stolen bases here against Andrew Armstrong has the Mariners behind 4-0. So with only one away in the bottom of the third, Armstrong to southpaw deals the pitch. It's tapped over towards the right side foul. For strike number 1 here to Cadence Kent, the first baseman here. Runners on the corners here against Armstrong in his first relief outing on the season. He had started 2 games for the Mariners this season. Had 5 innings, his season high against Bourne. The 0-1. Fastball, a called strike with the letters. It's 0-2.
And Armstrong's been great, arguably the best starter for the Mariners. His first appearance came back in the game against Bourne on the 14th. A win in 5 innings, 87 pitches, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, no runs, 2 hits.
The 0-2 from Armstrong. Fastball flies outside. It goes to 1-2. Antonacci on third, Casarilla on first. One characteristic that has really helped give Armstrong that longevity in these starts, guys, is 13 combined strikeouts. But here he comes in relieving after 2 1/3 innings of a start. 1-2, dips low. 2-2. Savino went 2 1/3 innings. His partial line, 5 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Struggled with command at times. And before the fog delay, had already faced the lineup once. The 2-2. Fastball flies outside again. It's 3-2.
I mean, yeah, you've given them a 6-out inning. Andrew Armstrong's been doing everything he can to get you the ground ball outs, to get you the pickoff attempts, and the Mariners just not able to come through for their pitcher. This has been a disaster of a 3rd inning.
Armstrong out of the stretch, 3-2. Fastball swung on and missed. 3rd strikeout here for the Mariners, and it's the first for Armstrong. He's faced a few thus far, as they're finally 2 away here in the 3rd.
And after all those fielding antics that we just witnessed, we finally get to see Andrew Armstrong do what he does best on that mound, really command that batter.
He had 5 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts to 2 walks at his season debut against Bourne. The first pitch to Caden Hobson, a fastball swung on and missed. 2 away, runners on the corner still here against Armstrong. 4-run inning thus far for Chatham after the Mariners and the Anglers were scoreless going into the 3rd here. Pitch. Changeup just misses low and goes to 1-1. Armstrong has been really recognized around the Mariners pitching staff for having that command of the zone. But it's been a tight strike zone thus far from Tom Carrilli behind home plate today. Antonacci on third, Casarilla on first, a 4-0 lead for Chatham. Slider misses low and away. It's 2-1. The Mariners coming back up in the 4th inning. We'll have Mason Guerra, Kennedy Jones, and Lorenzo Carrier due up. Just one hit for the Mariners tonight. The 2-1. Low and away here. It's 3-1. One key here for Armstrong will just be able to fight back in the counts. Just needing one more out. Certainly doesn't want to spike the pitch count. The 3-1. Fastball outside. It's a 5-pitch walk rather to Caden Hobson, and that loads the bases again here for Chatham. And you consider what Joe Savino was able to work out of in the 1st inning, left the runners on the corners, and then stranded runner at second, and Caden Kent back in the 2nd. And it seems as if this Chatham lineup, as much as it struggles, has begun to figure it out here.
Yeah, and what a time to do it. They're cashing in, taking advantage of Harwich mistakes. Sometimes baseball is just a matter of who can make less mistakes will win the game, and who can capitalize on more mistakes for that matter. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
First pitch, line down the right side for strike number 1 here to Matthew Etzel, as Chatham now bats around here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the Mariners are surely not making it easy on themselves in the bottom of this 3rd inning.
And it's a Mariners team, guys, that has certainly not faltered in the field this year. The pitch way outside to Etzel. It's 1-1. A Mariners team with the 4th best fielding percentage in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Not susceptible to too many errors, the 3rd fewest, trailing Brewster and Bourne. The bases loaded here for Matthew Etzel. A huge chance to pad the lead for Chatham. 1-1. Fastball staples the outer half. It goes to 1-2. Antonacci on 3rd. Casarilla on 2nd. Hobson on 1st here. Armstrong trying to settle in here, the lefty of Florida State. The 1-2. Slider misses high. It's 2-2. It's an inning that started with Etzel reaching on catcher's interference. He came across to score on a 2-run RBI hit. The 2-2. Fastball low and away, 3-2.
Nowhere to put him anymore. Bases loaded, and you're going to have to see if he can throw a strike that he can't hit. Not sure what Armstrong's going to go with, just threw a fastball.
Can Etzel stay alive here and extend the inning for Chatham? The Anglers had 4-0 with 2 away. The payoff pitch. Roped over towards the right side, but it just goes wide in foul territory. We'll do it again. Well, the fog has certainly not gone away, but it hasn't flustered this Anglers lineup, has it now, fellas?
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see Tom Holliday complaining with the score the way it looks, so probably going to at least play 5 innings of this ball game, and Mariners going to have to get the offense going is what the verdict is.
Payoff pitch again, grounded over towards the left side. Camarillo moving to his right at the lip of the outfield grass, and he can't make the throw on a 1st in time. Another run comes across to score. It's an infield RBI single for Matthew Etzel, and the inning continues with a 2-out RBI hit.
Can't stress enough. I mean, you've given them 6 outs in this inning. What do you expect to happen? I mean, another infield single. They're just capitalizing on mistakes. Harwich has got to find an answer on offense. They have not had it up to this point. And credit to Chatham. They've been able to take advantage. They are a team who's struggled at the plate. As a ball club, they hit just 219. Or no, excuse me. They hit 252, but yeah.
Well, the Mariners making a couple of mistakes on the base paths. Tried to get the lead runner at home twice, and missed the tag each time as they trail 5-0 with 2 away here in the 3rd. Pitch on the inner half here to Derek Fabian. It's 0-2. Back up for the 2nd time here in the 3rd. Reached on an error by the 2nd baseman in Goodman. 11th batter to come to plate here for Chatham. The 0-2. Lofted foul behind home plate will stay where it is. Bases still loaded here for the Anglers with 2 away. Ahead 5-0 here over the Mariners. A huge chance for Derek Fabian to have at least a multiple hit night here, as he's reached twice already. A single to center field back in the 1st. The 0-2. Curveball swung on and missed from Armstrong, as Chatham brings 11 to the plate and has a huge inning with 4 runs to get ahead of the Mariners after 2. Rather, 5-run inning thus far for the Anglers here at Veterans Field. Going into the fourth inning, the Mariners down by a lot, and they have work to do. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
We're going to have to
Mariners down 5-0 after a huge third inning from the Chatham Anglers. Andrew Armstrong working out of immediate trouble, and he is unable to get those 2 quick outs after Joe Savino went 2 1/3 innings. And back over to my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, for the 4th through the 6th.
Thank you, Wyatt. It'll be Mason Guerra, Kennedy Jones, and Lorenzo Carrier due up for the M's. They are looking at quite the hill, down 5 runs thanks to 7 hits from the Anglers, and the defense has not done them any favors. They've really struggled here tonight. Their second straight really bad defensive game. It's 0-1 now to Guerra as the next pitch is bounced in the dirt to make it 1-1.
And if you're Tanner Witt, this already has to be one of your best starts on the season. Despite not having all the control at times, he did go up that wild pitch to allow Matt Scannell to get onto third, but he had 6 up and 6 down, as a matter of 7 straight in his first phase. So certainly have to feel encouraged, but you, of course, have to be able to finish it off here. Give Tom Holliday at least the 5 you need.
Guerra on the day, excuse me, has flied out to left field. That came back in the first, now into the 4th inning. Mariners have sent up just 1 more than the minimum here to start against a nasty Tanner Witt. He has had all his stuff working tonight. Count is 2-1 now after the breaking ball misses high. Here comes the 2-1 offering. And big swing and a miss. Count is now even at 2-2.
Yeah, the fastball, something that Harwich has struggled to stay on time of here tonight. We'll see how Guerra responds.
Guerra coming in on a 2-game hit streak. Trying to extend that here as that one slips all the way to the backstop, 3-2. Out of Oregon State, was activated back on June 26th amidst all the pieces that have come and gone for the Mariners. Beaverton, Oregon native, an Oregon State Beaver. Pretty cool connection there. 3-2 is going to be lifted into left field. That ball is hard to see, but under it is Nolan Schubart, and he puts it away for out number 1 here in the 4th.
You know, after that tough bottom of the 3rd, you wonder who for Harwich is going to get this game started on offense. Do you turn to Kennedy Jones, your leading RBI man? Do you turn to someone else who hasn't had the bat hot? Who is it going to be tonight?
So now it'll be Kennedy Jones as he watches ball 1 high, comes in at 88 miles per hour, and it's 1-0. Jones on the day has grounded out over to first base, a 3-1 putout. 1-0 is going to be swung on and missed to even up the count at 1. Jones, a team-high 12 hits for the Harwich Mariners. Trying to add to that total here. They are staring at a 5-0 deficit. Not going to be easy by any means. Here comes the 1-1. Foul tipped into the mitt, and it'll be 1-2 now to the newest South Carolina Gamecock. Yeah, the fog is looming out in left field. Long look in from Witt. The pitch. Breaking ball dropped in there, strike 3. And that will be just the 4th strikeout through 4 innings for Tanner Witt. He is in cruise control. As I mentioned, just has faced one more than the minimum now. Lorenzo Carrier set for his second at-bat against the right-hander.
Yeah, the Mariners are just so accustomed to striking out as of late, and sometimes it's swinging at bad pitches, sometimes it's not protecting.
And it's going to be 0-1 now to Lorenzo Carrier. He struck out back in the second. See what he can do here against the tall right-hander. Comes into the windup over the head, kicks and fires. It'll bounce in the dirt for a ball. They appeal to first base, but no swing. Another long look in from Witt. He kind of crunches over looking at the signs. No pitch count for this guy. 1-1. Misses way up high. It's 2-1. Kenny Lavari on deck. Mariners looking to start a little 2-out rally to spark this offense, which has really suffered here tonight. 2-1. He is bounced in the dirt. Another breaking ball. That control has been hit or miss for the pitcher in Witt. He's been able to either float it right in or it's been bounced in the dirt. Kind of a dangerous pitch. It kind of hangs up, low 70s. 3-1 offering is a fastball in there at the knees to make it 3-2. Carrier does not like that call, and of course, a guy with such a big frame comes with a big strike zone, and home plate umpire taking full advantage of that. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the Miami outfielder. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be grounded over to the first baseman in Kent. He'll toss on to first. There to make the play is Witt. And the side is retired. In order they go. We head to the home half of the 4th. 5-0 Anglers. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Flip over to the Chatham side of things as they are coming off a big 3rd inning. We actually are going to be running out of real estate in our scorebook, Wyatt, because of having to kind of cross out, recorrect everything. But it will be Nolan Schubart, Lyle Miller Green, and Carter Trice set to get things going here for the Anglers in the home half of the 4th. Andrew Armstrong towing the rubber once again. Was able to get the ground balls back when he was subbed into the 3rd inning, but unfortunately the Mariners unable to help his cause. It's 0-1. We finally closed the line on Joe Savino. 2 1/3 innings pitch, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, a walk, and a pair of strikeouts. As this one's hammered out to left field. Back is Jones. He lost it in the fog, and it bounces down at the wall. Jones was waiting there, couldn't see it, and then finally hit the warning track. I wonder what to make of this, and so they're going to rule it probably a hit, I would imagine, but I don't know. It's so difficult with this fog to really get a gauge on it.
And you consider the ordinary effort that he still made. He was moving to his right, had the extended glove. I would also see that being deemed as an error.
They did rule it a hit.
As a hit, okay.
You did see him flip his hips there as he lost it in the fog in that trajectory out to left field. It's playing a factor.
It really is, and any more of that on the Chatham side of things, this game might be over. It's 1-0 to start the count now to the batter, and Lyle Miller-Green. He singled and walked, came around to score on that weird play at the plate that Arndt didn't apply the tag. It's ball and no strikes. Now Armstrong rocks and fires that one low, 2-0. And for Miller-Green, comes in 6'5", 230 pounds out of Burke, Virginia. He is a big man. Attends Austin P. 2-0 pitch coming. And therefore a strike at the knees. A nice off-speed pitch at 80 miles per hour, a changeup. And it'll be 2-1.
And you consider, had the Mariners not tried to go home twice in the infield, how many different opportunities they would have had to get out of the inning sooner.
This one missed outside, 3-1. And Wyatt, I agree with you. They could have had the outs, but when you think about it, they had the plays at the plate. They just didn't execute. I mean, dead to rights. The runners it was bad base running. And then the Mariners kind of just, it's almost like taking advantage of a Little League team who doesn't, know how to make the plays. That's what it was like. I mean, you had him. He was halfway between the base paths. They threw it home and unable to record the out. It's just really tough.
Liberty's on the base pass either way, regardless of making the plays or not.
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
3-2 to Miller-Green. The pitch misses way up and out, and it'll be a 6-pitch walk. So now runners on first and second for Carter Trice with none away. And yeah, this Chatham offense, I don't know if it's a sleeping giant that's just been woken up or if it's the combination of the Harwich defense combined with the bad visibility, but they are really being able to consistently produce, whereas Harwich has had just the one hit, no walks, no one else has reached base other than Matt Scannell.
And guys, I am having a hard time even seeing the outfielders here for Harwich in those Navy jerseys.
As this one's going to be hammered out to right field, trying to make the play is Carrier, and I believe it dropped. I can't even tell you. It must have dropped because the base runner's on first, but yeah, it did drop in for a hit. Apologies for the confusion, but between the pole that's right in front of us, it's like a railing right at eye level, perfect, and not being able to see with the fog, I mean, it's difficult.
And if I'm Carrier right there, yeah, you kind of have to let the ball stay in front of you. It's just the rule.
As this one gets by Arndt, here comes another runner to the plate, and Nolan Schubart up a station, everybody goes. And if you're Steve Engler, it's got to be kind of like frustrating as this game has gotten out of hand and against the worst team in the division. Your team's playing sloppy defense, and, you don't want to blame the fog, but at the same time, it's like it's really a factor.
It has to be affecting the catcher at this point, too, because we've seen 2 balls that Arndt usually gets in front of and just by him on both.
Those usually aren't by Arndt, is I think a good way to put it. Thank you for the laugh. I appreciate that. It's ball and a strike now to Sam Antonacci, who on the day is, I guess, 0 for 1. We kind of didn't find a way to score his second at-bat because it was either an error or a hit, and I don't think they ever put it on the scoreboard. Might have ruled it a fielder's choice, per se, but
I think you have to consider, if you're the outfielder, just keep it in front.
1-2, foul tipped into the net, or excuse me, into the glove, and it will be strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Andrew Armstrong. And there's finally one away here in the 4th.
I would roll the pass ball against Brian Arntz as well. Just caught enough for the glove to the point where it got to the backstop, and now both runners in scoring position still with one away.
First pitch to Casarilla is going to miss low for a ball. And yeah, right field visibility really tough I'm not a weatherman, but circumstances not looking great. 1-0. It's going to be chopped up the middle, snagged by Camarillo. Everyone going to be in a jam now. The play to the plate, and they get Miller Green. So on to first they go, and then you saw that Trice was advancing to third, even though Miller Green was there. Both those guys not on the same page, forcing Miller Green to head home, and he's tagged out at the plate. So a weird inning-ending double play, and that will send us to the 5th inning. 6-0 Chatham as they add another. We'll be right back for the 5th inning. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Finally.
Call to the bullpen night is over for Tanner Witt. We'll get to his line in a moment, but it's going to be Gabe Davis, 6'9", 220 pounds out of Midwest City, Oklahoma, an Oklahoma State product, making his 3rd appearance. So far, he's gone 5 2/3 innings, has not allowed a hit or an earned run, 7 strikeouts in that time. He's been sensational. We'll see what he can bring against a struggling Mariner order. Props to Tanner Witt, though. He was sensational himself. He went 4 innings, surrendered just the 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, and had 4 strikeouts. As it'll be 1-0 to start the batter, and Kenny Lavari now in the 5th inning.
Already having to talk after the first pitch. Just have to wonder what they're talking about there. Maybe off communication on that first pitch call.
Density of the fog, too.
It could be.
I mean, we were talking about it during the commercial break. How it continues to flood in, and it's just a big swath of fog out in left field. It's about 3:14 down the lines here, folks.
Just cannot catch a break with the weather between these two teams.
Not at all. Here comes the 1-0 to Lavari. He fouls it back, and it'll be 1-1.
And, you know, foul balls in the Cape Cod Baseball League, there's really nothing better than seeing all these kids run after it. There's always a pile at it.
And
You
more
gotta love
incentive to
the
do it at Chatham, because if you turn it into the snack shack, you get a free ice cream.
Well, would you look at that?
Is
1
it
and 2
short and
now.
sweet ice cream?
I have no idea what it is, but it's ice cream. Ice cream's ice cream.
Short and sweet is just an all-time classic.
See, I don't really know what that is, to be honest. I
You've
wish
never
I did.
tried it?
If it's an all-time classic, I'm kind of ashamed of myself.
Oh, gosh.
Ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch to Lavari is just outside to make it 2-2. Fog probably about like a 6 out of 10 right now for visibility's sake.
I like your scale there, Dev.
I think it is a decent scale. I like to think. 2-2 is bounce down low, and it'll be 3-2. And yeah, we've seen a lot more pass balls, and the catcher's having a harder time seeing it. That is for sure. 3-2 is the count now to Lavari, who popped out to third base in his first at-bat, which came back in the second. Davis set and delivers this one out to right field. It'll be hit into the corner. Lavari's got himself a single, heading for second now, and he's going to be in there standing up. It's a double from Kenny Lavari to start off the fifth inning, a really productive at-bat. And Devin Obie coming to the plate.
He's been so consistent this season, arguably one of Harwich's best all-around players, probably not the best contactor. You look to Kennedy Jones. You also look to Seaver King, Kalen Culpepper, Hunter Fitzgerald before their departures. This is what Kenny Lavari does at times, in addition to earning the plethora of walks, too.
So it'll be Devin Obie's turn. Flew out to right back in the second inning. As this one gets way over the backstop. That one definitely a wild pitch. Into third is Lavari, and now the Mariners 90 feet away from being on the scoreboard.
And there you go, a mistake by the Anglers. Let's see if Harwich can capitalize on this opportunity.
Obie standing in that right-hand side. Davis comes set. And the pitch is going to just miss inside to make it 2-0. 94 miles per hour from the big righty. As I mentioned, 6'9". He's got a big frame and using all of it to get that ball to the plate. 2-0 pitch is going to be chopped, foul off to the left, and it'll be 2-1.
Yeah, if you're Obie, you've been on a tear as of late at the plate. You just have to be able to send a message to the lineup that you just need hits, you need to get on base, but you don't have to shoot for the alleys either.
2 balls and a strike now to Obie. And the pitch is going to be chopped off to the left once again. He's ahead of him. And so it'll be 2-2. It'll be interesting to see what Davis decides to do, as his fastball's been timed by Obie. He's actually way ahead of it. If he'll slow it down or come right back with another one. The pitch just misses outside. And so it'll be 3-2.
Mariners have worked some payoff pitches here tonight. Give them credit for trying to work back into counts and push them to the limit.
The pitch just misses outside. It's a walk for Devin Obie, and now the Mariners with runners on the corners here with nobody away. In the fifth, maybe a little magic starting.
Yeah, the Mariners had to come back from early deficits twice last night. Obie, a relative factor in that. 1 for 4 with an RBI. He had 3 combined hits, 3 walks over the past 5 games. Someone who has really ignited a spark here in the lineup as the Mariners have looked for answers out of the bottom of the order.
Brian Arndt's turn, struck out swinging back to start the third inning. He's got an RBI opportunity here to do some magic for the Mariners. First pitch from Davis is going to be in there for a strike at the knees. Off-speed pitch at 83 miles per hour. It's 0-1. Arndt hitting above 300 this season. His best summer in the Cape over the last 2 seasons. 0-1 offering. Misses down low. 1-1. Obie on first, Lavari on third. Lavari led off with a double, and then Obie walked. That's how we got here. Davis struggling to find his control after Tanner Witt was sensational in the first 4 innings of the ball game. Here comes the 1-1. This is up high, 2-1. Struggling with the control, although the velocity there, 93 on that fastball. 6 runs on 9 hits with no errors for the Anglers. No runs on 2 hits with 2 errors for the Mariners. The pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, so says first base umpire, and so it'll be 2-2 now. Arndt struck out on a nasty breaking ball back in the third. We'll see what Davis elects to go with now. Now they're breaking ball. It's going to be grounded up the middle. Antonacci flips to Fabian on the first, and it is in time. Mariners do strike for a run, but it'll be a 4-6-3 double play. And the Anglers will trade 2 outs for a run any day of the week with a lead this size. There's 2 away now, and the base is empty.
And it's just smart fielding by the Anglers, albeit they don't have near the highest fielding percentage in the Cape Cod Baseball League, guys. They just made a routine double play, and even with the fog looming in, they found a way.
Matt Scannell's turn. He takes a home run cut, wanted all of it, got none of it. He's behind in the count 0-1. He singled, stole a base in the third, and then was stranded on third base. 0-1 offering from Davis, bounced in the dirt. Nice pick out of the ground by Caden Hobson, and it's 1-1.
As you mentioned earlier, just less mistakes really helping the Anglers, even with the run on the board for the Harwich.
Here comes the 1-1 to Scannell. Just misses inside, 2-1. Jack Goodman on deck for the Mariners, trying to get another 2-out rally. They've already got a run back, trying to add some more as they trail this one by 5, 6-1. The pitch. It's going to be lifted out to left field, running over is Schubart, and he will make the play for out number 3. But the Mariners strike for a run thanks to a leadoff double from Lavari, who was able to be brought in by Brian Arndt. We'll take a quick break. 6-1 Anglers, and be back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back here, home half of the 5th. Devin Dobeck joined by Wyatt Kopelman and Sean Sears on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners trailing by 5 after they were able to get one back as pitch to Armstrong is in, or from Armstrong in there for a strike to start Caden Kent. Home half of the 5th here, and so the Anglers, if this game was to be called, would be set up for the W at this moment in time. You got to play, of course, 5. The losing team would have to have a chance to bat in the 5th. Mariners are away, so the Anglers typically going to be in the driver's seat. It'll be a ball and a strike now to Kent, or ball and 2 strikes as he rips that one foul.
Devin, I will say, not the first fog-induced game I've seen in summer collegiate baseball.
Oh, I can imagine out in the Northwoods League that you saw a lot of this. Did you ever travel near the Great Lakes as the 1-2 is going to be ripped foul?
Right on Lake Michigan 2 seasons ago. A lot of fog-induced games. Actually had a couple of fog delays that lasted from maybe about 15 minutes to as long as 45 minutes. Actually, one game was called in the 6th inning.
Just got a little no-see-em in my eye, so thanks for that. Not that I need to see to call a baseball game as that one's fouled off. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes.
There you go. Good quick recovery out of you.
I don't
That's what
even,
we love to
it
see.
might still be in there.
No
Trying to
eyewash?
figure it out. Nope, no eyewash. Only in high schools, as that one's bounced in the dirt, and so it'll be 2-2. Definitely getting a little chilly, and I forgot my sweatshirt here tonight, so that will be a factor for the broadcast. 2 balls, 2 strikes now And the pitch to Kent is going to be just low. Armstrong wanted the strikeout, not going to get it. He's already got 3, entered in the 3rd inning with just 1 away, and he's been fantastic. Just his team not making the plays behind him. 3-2 is going to be chopped over to first base. Going to be a tough play. Mariners going to have to win the race. Armstrong wins the foot race as Scannell flips on to him. It's a 3-1 put out to start the 5th.
You know, as long as we're not hearing your teeth chatter, should be all set for you.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, you consider Armstrong now up to 52 pitches in his first bullpen outing on the season, but the defense busy behind him, and that's got to feel relieving as well. Now 3 straight retired, including that 6-3-2 inning-ending double play.
First pitch to the 9-hitter, and Caden Hobson is going to be in there for a strike on the outer part of the plate, 0-1. And yeah, I once again can't see the right fielder in Lorenzo Carrier. I can vaguely make him out thanks to the blue fence as this one's lifted right out to him. We'll see if he has any idea where it is. And
Think he made the catch?
he did.
Like
He did. He did make the catch. Credit to him. I can't see it, and none of us could see him make the catch, but came down with it. Everybody getting a good chuckle here at Veterans Field.
I think everyone was as perplexed as to where the ball actually moved in the direction of Carey, whether it was to his right, his left, all the while. You have 2 outs. That's relieving.
First pitch now to the top of the order, and Matthew Etzel is going to be in there for a strike. This will be his 4th time coming up in 5 innings. Similar to the clip the Mariners had the other day as Goodman boots it briefly, and the play is going to be not in time. Jack Goodman with another error. Has not been his night over at second base on the transfer, unable to get it over to first in, so it'll be an E4 to prolong the inning. And that's kind of the luck Armstrong's had. His defense just not making plays for him.
Yeah, and you bring 11 batters to the plate between that 3rd inning, and certainly felt like 2 innings as well. The Anglers just trying to keep innings going here, still with a 5-run lead.
Derek Fabian's turn. First pitch to him is outside for a ball, 1-0. Fabian singled in the first, reached on an error in the 3rd, and struck out also in the 3rd. He batted twice. They did officially rule that an error on Goodman. The pitch just misses inside, and so it'll be 2-0. The one game I don't bring a sweatshirt to, and we're doing an outdoor broadcast with a breeze and mist as Armstrong goes over to first, but back in there safely is the runner in Etzel. Six runs on 9 hits and no errors for the Anglers. Offense has been there. As that one in there for a strike to make it 2-1. For Harwich, 1 run on 2 hits and 3 errors on defense. This has not been a good mark for them here tonight. The pitch is going to be bounced in the dirt. Runner thought about going in Etzel, and he retreats back to first base. Nice recovery from Brian Arndt. And count is now moved to 3-1.
Out of any time that you don't want your catcher thrown on a back pick down to first, it's now. Fog has completely taken over the outfield again. That probably would have gotten lost and never found.
Yeah, once again, it's a big factor as that one's fouled off, 3-2. And honestly, I would say that this game's going to play out as there's an ovation in the stands. Did the ball
It was a
get
good
hit?
play over there. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I think it made it over the netting, Sean.
It did. It hit the top of the netting, fell right into someone's lap.
More
Made
ice
the
cream.
play.
There you go. Payoff pitch coming from Armstrong. And it's in there. 4 strike 3. Down he goes swinging. Fabian is going to be victim number 4 for Andrew Armstrong. We head now to the 6th. The Mariners trying to produce some offense amidst this weird foggy night here in Chatham. We'll be right back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back here. Devin Doback joined by Wyatt Kopelman and Sean Sears on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It'll be Jack Goodman and then the top of the order due up for the Harwich Mariners. They trail by 5 runs here into the 6th inning. As here comes the first pitch to Jack Goodman, and it's going to be just inside for a ball, 1-0. One run, 2 hits, 3 errors for the Mariners. They're trying to change that mark here as we head into the second half of the ball game. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you got to see that pan shot of the fog in between innings just to see what we've been not necessarily complaining about, but talking about throughout the broadcast constantly. 2 balls and a strike now to Jack Goodman as that one misses outside. Davis is back out there for the Chatham Anglers. 2-1 is going to be in there for a strike. He surrendered the first run for Harwich back in the 5th thanks to a leadoff double from Kenny Lavari and then a ground ball double play that allowed him to score from Brian Arndt. 2-2 pitch coming from Davis. Here it is. And it just misses outside to make it 3-2.
That fastball is upticking past 95, and it was just on the verge of getting called looking.
Just about set for the payoff. And it's going to be chopped foul off to the left. We'll do it again. Couple final scores around the league. Katuitt tops Wareham 6-2 at Lowell Park, and Falmouth defeating Brewster 6-5 at Arnie Allen Diamond. Payoff. Swing and a miss. Down goes Goodman. Second time he struck out swinging today. He's the first strikeout victim of Gabe Davis, and there's one away here in the 6th.
Fastball declined to about 93 miles per hour, but Goodman just hasn't really been able to figure it out each time of the plate here today. Still has a little bit of time left in this game, but the Mariners, Devin, with no runs across the first 4 hitters in the lineup, this is the point of the year where I think you start to really miss Hunter Fitzgerald.
Once again, the visibility in the outfield really difficult. It'll be interesting to see if a ball was hit out there, if the officiating umpires would come together and try and make a decision. It's 1-0 to Camarillo. As here comes the next pitch. Just going to be in there for a strike. Camarillo really upset with the call. Actually showed some pretty negative body language to the umpire, and he'll have to stand back in. Umpire coaxing him back into the box. 1-1 is going to be lifted out to left field down the line, and I believe a fair ball. Heads all the way into the corner. Camarillo rounding second and charging. He'll stop at second and retreat back there as he's in there with a stand-up double with one away for the Mariners.
Camarillo quiet tonight with a strikeout and a ground out in the leadoff spot here in the lineup. And you get Mason Guerra up, albeit he's 0 for 2 here tonight, but you have a little bit of momentum once again. The Mariners, all the while leaving one on in the 3rd. They finally brought a runner home in Lavari after a leadoff double. It's a little bit of a tale of a changing of the times here as the Mariners seem to have some momentum again.
Guerra has flied out to left field twice here tonight. A fly to the outfield would definitely be interesting. We have once again lost sight of the right fielder in Lyle Miller Green. He's a big human, not someone you lose track of very often. As that one misses down low, it'll be 1-1. Yeah, what a scene here. I guess we got to stop beating a dead horse, but I mean, it just gets increasingly worse by the minute. And then lets up and then worse again. Kind of a roller coaster. 1-1 pitch is going to miss to make it 2-1. On deck, Kennedy Jones. RBI opportunity on the table for these next 2 hitters, unless a crazy double play happens.
Kennedy leading the team in RBIs with 14. This would be really big for the Mariners.
As the pitch to Guerra is going to be fouled off, 2-2.
One of the Mariners' biggest problems this season, leaving men on base. See if they can fix that here tonight, down 5.
They've only left one on. That came in the 3rd, and that's because they really haven't had too many people on us. The 2-2 is fouled off, and yeah, Sean, to go with your point there, you don't want to leave people on base, but you need to get people on base in order to leave them there, and Harwich hasn't even done that much tonight.
Right you are, Devin. Right you are.
And in a game where Chatham's capitalizing on your mistakes and getting hits, that's not going to win you the ball game. As a check swing, yes, he did, so says the home plate umpire. And so it'll be second strikeout by the way of the swing for Gabe Davis, 2 away here in the 6th.
Just a changeup aimed low that time, and Guerra was tempted to go after. I thought he might have held up. I don't know if he went through the edge of that plate, the front edge, but all the while they're 2 away, and Kennedy Jones still an opportunity for another RBI on the season.
In other scores, the Orleans Firebirds defeating the YD Red Sox soundly at Eldridge Park, 10-1 the final there. And then Bourne with a 4-3 victory. And what a leaping grab over at first base through the fog by Caden Kent. A sensational grab to end the inning. That one had RBI written all over it, but he steals a run from the Mariners. We head to the home half of the 6th. Chatham Anglers coming up next. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. I just had to do a little celeb touch to get us back on there, as our producer has gone to a nature call. He got a call from nature, and so he'll be back momentarily. But the Anglers back up. It'll be Schubart, Miller, Green, and Trice due up. They lead 6-1. Call to the bullpen. Dylan Delvecchio making his team-high 5th appearance for the Mariners. Night is over for Andrew Armstrong. Goes 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks was the line for Armstrong. Here's the 1-0 offering, and it's going to be in there for a strike, 1-1. On the day, Schubart has flied out to center, reached on a fielder's choice and scored, and doubled and scored. It's 1-1 count. Delvecchio kicks and delivers a breaking ball outside, 2-1. And for Delvecchio, he's had kind of a roller coaster of a time here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Of course, the most utilized reliever, but that has come with both good and bad outings. Swing and a miss. And so that will make the count 2-2. His last outing was his best. That came on June 25th against the Falmouth Commodores. Received the win after 4 innings of work, 59 pitches, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. 2-2 is going to be chopped foul. We'll do it again. His previous outing came against the Chatham Anglers in that walk-off victory for the Mariners, but Delvecchio did not have his best stuff. did not record an out through 22 pitches. 1 hit, 2 earned runs, no strikeouts, and 3 walks. We'll see what he's got here tonight. 2-2 is the count now to Schubart. And the pitch is going to be broken bat over to the shortstop, Camarillo. He's able to put it away. And so that will be 1 out here to start the 6th inning.
For Steve Angler, you probably bring in Del Vecchio, knowing that he actually faces righties pretty well, facing Lyra Miller Green, who's already worked 2 walks, had a 2-out single to left field back in the first, and it's up to Del Vecchio to try and put a stop to that.
First pitch is going to miss low for a ball. It's 1-0. Miller Green on the day has walked twice, also singled, came around to score on one of those at-bats. He's been sensational for the Anglers. 1-0 from Del Vecchio is going to be popped up, shallow right field, long run for Carrier. He's over towards the foul line and almost overran it, but puts it away through the fog for out number 2.
Carrier's had such a tough time out there, but the way that he's persevered, he's used the light to his advantage. That's one benefit of being able to play under lights in the Cape Cod League with the fog still storming in here, for lack of a better term. It's tough.
It's once again lightened up just a touch, not much, but probably down to like a 4 or 5 visibility-wise. 2 away here for Carter Trice. Del Vecchio looking for a 1-2-3-6. Here's the first pitch. Just above the letters for a ball. It's 1-0. 90 miles per hour on that fastball from Del Vecchio. Making his 5th appearance. That is a team high for the Mariners. Granted, 2 of those have been very short, and one of them threw just 2 pitches. He got basically 1 out. That came back against Wareham on June 13th. Then threw 22 pitches against YD without recording an out. So a couple really short outings, but nonetheless, he has been a quantity guy for Coach Steve Angler. He's behind in the count 2-1 now. To Carter Trice, who struck out and also singled twice, came around to score once. He's got 2 of those 9 Angler hits. Here comes the 2-1 offering, and it's a breaking ball that snaps in there for a strike at the knees, 2-2.
Yeah, he's brought a sinker that he's begun to really work on with R.J. Thomas, and he's trying to bury the breaking ball as well. You can tell he's aiming low for the zone.
Bunch of dogs in the concourse here in Chatham. Pretty cool experience to have a broadcast with them, as this one's going to be grounded softly into right field for a base hit. And so 3rd hit of the day for Carter Trice. He's been fantastic, and that will keep the chains moving for Sam Antonacci.
I don't know, his bark at the park night. A lot of dogs scurrying around here.
I guess so.
I guess.
Antonacci, coined by Tom Holliday as maybe the best JUCO hitter he's ever seen. He'll dig back in here. Antonacci on the season is hitting just .222 coming into tonight in the Cape League. On the night, he's 0 for 3, has scored a run. He's also popped out to shortstop, struck out, and then had a fielder's choice, as that one gets by Brian Arndt to the backstop. And so the count will be 1-0.
Yeah, Del Vecchio can ill afford to fall behind in counts by the way of the wild pitches here. It's already gripped the Mariners pitching staff here tonight, and that's only going to make them pay here, just giving out those liberties on the base pass. Very accustomed also to errors the past couple of nights.
Del Vecchio, the left-hander, holding that glove on his hip, now comes set at the waist. Tapping that right foot, checks the runners, and comes home. It's going to be grounded up the middle over to Goodman. He boots it once again. And into first is going to be Antonacci. Wow, Jack Goodman really just not having a sound defensive game, and not a tough play to make. I'm not sure exactly how he's making these errors, but that one just a soft ground ball and not even a short hop. Like, just misplayed it, hit him in the heel of the glove. I believe that might be his 3rd error of the ball game.
And what you notice about Carter Trice, he didn't really look back at Goodman for that long. He knew that it was going to be a struggle for him to make the play, and there left no doubt.
Definitely a night he will want to forget.
First pitch is going to miss for a ball. Arndt hesitated a bit. Now the throw down, a dart, and he got him at second base. Antonacci's tagged out. Brian Arndt hesitated. Didn't think there was going to be a play on the ball that bounced in the dirt, and then he snipes Antonacci. What a put out by Brian Arndt, and that is how the 6th ends. So the Anglers strand a runner on 3rd base in Trice, and they don't score. Finally, we head to the 7th inning. We'll be right back on the other side of the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you into the 7th inning of this interesting ball game, and I'll send play-by-play duties back over to Wyatt Kopelman, my broadcast partner. Wyatt.
All right, Devin. Davis back out on the mound for his 3rd inning of work here in relief. Deals a first pitch fastball outside to Lorenzo Carrier for ball number 1. The right fielder out of Miami, 0 for 2 here today with a strikeout and a ground out. Pitch. Skied out towards left field. Schubart moving to his left and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That's 3 straight retired here by Davis, who has looked strong, carrying it over from Tanner Witt, only allowing that 1 hit.
And for the Mariners, they have not had more than 4 batters come up in an inning, and they've had 4 batters come up 3 times now through 6 innings. The others have just been in order. It's been a tough go on offense.
1 away here in the top of the 7th. 6-1 Chatham Anglers lead. The pitch taken outside on a fastball. For ball number 1 here to Kenny Lavari. 1 for 2 here today. Fouled out to third base back in the 6th. Doubled with a leadoff back in the 5th. 1-0. Chop back up to the mound and moving to his left, Davis, as he scoops it on 1 bounce and tosses it underhand calmly for the 2nd out of the inning. 4 pitches and 2 outs here for the reliever in Davis as he continues to cruise, and there are 2 away.
In danger of another 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners. That's not how you come back down 5.
Yeah, they've really struggled on offense. I mean, the woes have been just abysmal. 3 hits. And I don't think they have a walk either, Wyatt.
First pitch to Devin Obie. He shows a bunt, pulls it back as it's outside for ball number 1. Gentlemen, the Mariners have 1 walk here tonight, and they have 3 hits. 1 run on 3 hits for the Mariners, 4 errors already, a season high. The 1-0. Spiked high towards the left side. It stays in the infield. On the line, Casarella at third. He makes the catch at the bag for a loud out number 3 here. 5 straight retired here by Davis, the only reliever out of the bullpen here for Chatham. A foul out and a fly out to go with a ground out here as Davis continues to work, moving into the 8th inning. 6-1 deficit for the Mariners. We're up for stretch time here at Veterans Field. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners still behind the Chatham Anglers 6-1 going into the bottom of the 7th here. Wyatt Kopelman alongside our producer Sean Sears and my broadcast partner Devin Dobeck. Dylan Delvecchio out for his 2nd inning in his 5th outing on the season. The Mariners going to 2 relievers thus far. Delvecchio deals the first pitch. It's lined back up the middle. Goodman moving to his right, fires to first, and it's in time. 1 pitch, 1 out to start the bottom of the 7th. Delvecchio looking to retire the Anglers 1-2-3 as the Anglers were here to start the frame.
Finally, Goodman able to really just size that one up, make a nice throw. That's got to be a confidence builder. And Goodman, a good fielder, just having an off night, and I'm sure this won't be a consistency for him.
The Mariners trailing by 5 runs with 3 hits. The Anglers with 10 thus far. Chatham yet to make an error. Delvecchio winds and deals the first pitch here to Caden Kent as it's lofted into right center field, going over and into the wall, as that's going to send him past second. He's taking a wide turn into third, and he will reach diving. A 1-out triple here for Caden Kent as the 2 outfielders in center and right in Obi and Carrier lost at the wall. And it's a huge spark here for the Chatham Anglers as they get their 11th hit on the night.
Yeah, and Kent honestly might have been able to get home on that one. The ball ricocheted off his legs as he was sliding in head first. If it doesn't hit him, it scoots by third base. He might have had a little league home run.
The fog's still well apparent here in the outfield of Veterans Field. So 1 down and a runner on third in Caden Kent for Caden Hobson, the 9-hole hitter. The left-hander stands in against the southpaw Delvecchio as he watches it high for ball number 1. 6-1 lead for the Chatham Anglers here in their 2nd meeting with the Mariners this season. Harwich taking a thriller in extra innings with a walk-off pace hit. 5-4, the Mariners won it during that 5-game win streak. 1-0. Takes a bounce in front of Arntz as he loses it all the way to the backstop, tries to shed the mask, and that will score Kent from third easily standing up as it's now a 7-1 lead, and the Anglers get their first run since all the way back in the 4th inning.
That one not on Arndt, just a pitch. That was ground ball in the dirt, did everything he could to stop it, but it just deflects back. Tough break.
7 runs on 11 hits here for the Anglers. 1 run on 3 hits for the Mariners with 4 errors committed. Now Delvecchio deals the 2-0, and it's a slider that goes low and inside. 3-0 here. The Mariners trailing ever since the 3rd inning. 5 runs for this Chatham team that brought 11 to the plate and scored on 4 hits. Pitch, fastball inside. It's a 4-pitch walk here to Hobson, the catcher, as he reaches for the 2nd time here today. So despite grounding out and a flyout, a 1-out base runner once again here for the Anglers. And they continue to find different ways to get on base. The Mariners, meanwhile, with just 3 hits, and it's been a struggle.
It has been a struggle indeed, and it's going to be one of those games you're going to have to move on from, barring something miraculous coming up in the late innings for Harwich. They just have not had their best stuff on offense, and going to have to find ways to shake up the lineup and make something happen.
Forces Delvecchio to work out of the stretch as he deals a looping breaking ball down the middle for strike number 1 here to Matthew Etzel, the leadoff hitter for the Anglers tonight. One on, one away. The Mariners behind 7-1 here on the road against Chatham. The 0-1. Curveball misses low and away. It goes to 1-1 here. Etzel out of southern Mississippi. Another southpaw here for the Anglers. Delvecchio ready at the belt. He deals the 1-1. A swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Breaking ball has worked well, and it's been sunk this time from Delvecchio, something that he's looked to work on here in his first handful of outings with the pitching coach in R.J. Thomas. Delvecchio looking for his first punch out of the inning. Here it comes. Breaking ball floats outside. It goes to 2-2. So the Mariners trailing since the 3rd inning, a 5-run inning from Chatham. The Anglers tacking on an extra run to pad the lead in the 4th rather, and they've got one here. The 2-2. Fastball line into center field, down for a base hit in front of Obi. That'll send Hobson into second. He'll stop right there. 2-1 with 1 out here, and the traffic continues here against the southpaw reliever in Dylan Delvecchio.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's just leaving it over the plate, and once he gets ahead, he's been unable to cash in on his opportunities. Unfortunately, it's just leading to more base runners and kind of death by 1,000 cuts for the Mariners.
That draws in Derek Fabian, the shortstop out of Florida. He steps in for the 5th time here today. He works a 2-on, 1 out. The Mariners trailing 7-1 here at Veterans. First pitch, a fastball that goes on the inner half for strike number 1. Fabian standing in as the right-handed batter at 6'3", 190, the native of Ocala, Florida. Not too far from Gainesville, a team that just reached the College World Series. 0-1, smashed into left field. It's through for a base hit in front of Jones this time, as that will keep the runners at bay in scoring position. Hobson into third, Etzel into second, and the bases are loaded with a one-out rally looming here for Chatham.
And yeah, Del Vecchio just doesn't have his best stuff tonight. Harwich got to get someone up. He's just leaving everything over the plate, not throwing as hard as we know he can. And sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And this game just a couple pitches away from getting ugly.
Hobson on third, Etzel on second, Fabian on first here, as Nolan Schubert, another southpaw, steps in against Del Vecchio. Schubert, the freshman at Oklahoma State here, has scored twice already. The first pitch. Breaking ball misses high at the letters for ball number 1. Schubert here today, 2 for 3, with a double to left field back in the third inning. Right in the fourth. The 1-0. Slider goes off the outer half. It's 2-0. Mariners looking to their second reliever here in Dylan Del Vecchio after Andrew Armstrong was tacked with 2 runs, 1 unearned. Here's the 2-0. Fastball swung on and clipped off the glove of Arndt. It goes to 2-1 as the Mariners work against them with the bases loaded here. 7-1 lead for Chatham. Mariners winning last night 7-3. Lefty on lefty battle here. The 2-1 from Del Vecchio goes high to make it 3-1. Mariners have had a tough time in just getting out of innings, with the exception of how the fourth inning ended. It was a 6-3-2 double play. Bases loaded here, 1 away. The 3-1. Looped into shallow right field, and instead it's going to be Goodman making the catch. He backed up just in time, saw it right through the fog that time, which has continued to loom in from the outfield toward the lip of the outfield grass as they're 2 away.
That's just one of those times the bat fails you as a hitter. Schubart almost crushed this into the gap, but the bat just breaks and shatters, and it's a soft fly out. Doesn't move the runners anywhere.
Still on third, Hobson. On second, Etzel. On first, Fabian. Del Vecchio trying to work out of a huge jam here, prevent any further damage. The first pitch on the way to Lyle Miller Green, taking on the outer half for strike number 1. Del Vecchio has worked the fastball well here today, in addition to bearing the curveball, in addition to the changeup at times. Needs one more, the 0-1. Now flies down the chute, it's 0-2. Del Vecchio now on the verge of picking up his first strikeout in his latest appearance here for the Mariners. 7-1 lead for the Anglers. Here's the 0-2. A swing and a miss. Del Vecchio leaves the bases stranded here as no runs, rather than one, come across to score. Kent scoring on a wild pitch, but that's all the Anglers get as they lead 7-1 going into the 8th inning here at a fog-filled Veterans Field with the floodlights fully illuminated and the crowd starting to file out as well. The Mariners trailing by 6, and they're running out of time to come back in this one and try and score 6 unanswered runs. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners trailing 7-1 going into the 8th inning here at Veterans Field. The Mariners and the Anglers meeting for the second time on the season. The lower third of the order for Harwich in Brian Arntz, Matt Scannell, and Jack Goodman due up here. 13 hits for the Anglers, 3 hits for the Mariners. First pitch, the UNT Wilmington Seahawk taken high for ball number 1. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And Devin, the problems have been apparent for the Mariners. A season-high 4 errors backed by not a ton of offense either. The 1-0, a fastball, just goes high and inside for ball number 2. And to consider what Harwich has missed, aside from the fog field, it's just been sort of recuperation of prior issues before the Mariners had ended their 2-game losing streak last night. Here's a 2-0 from Gabe Davis, the reliever. Broken bat and into the glove over on the left side of Fabian as he makes a leaping catch, and there's one away. But the problems continue to linger here for the Mariners, and for that reason, the Mariners just unable to get a little bit of momentum going in the win column here.
Everyone was scared of that broken bat in the Anglers dugout.
Yeah, that thing came soaring off to the left, but Dollar Hot Dogs now being called over at the Snack Shack, and there's a whole brigade of people headed there. Regular thing here at Veterans Field.
The stands empty out here as Matt Scannell steps up. Gets the only reliever here for Chatham and Davis. The first pitch, shown bunt, pulled back, and it goes low for ball 1.
Fog getting pretty ugly once again here.
The visibility continues to decrease here as Scannell steps in with nobody on him, 1 away here in the top of the 8th. 1-0. Spiked back into the netting, and it just misses the threshold to go over. It's 1-1.
Wyatt, if that one made it over, I might have had to run and try to make a play.
That would be pretty funny to see you do that.
Line out here to start off the 8th. Scannell awaits the 1-1, and it floats inside as it goes to 2-1. The Mariners now with 6 straight retired here against Gabe Davis, a right-hander out of Oklahoma State. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, and it goes to 2-2. Davis has had excellent control here tonight in the relief after 4 innings out of start of Tanner Witt, only allowing 1 hit, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts.
Bugs are coming after us now, Wyatt.
Bugs have a similar impact to the fog as well. 2-2.
They're biting me on the head. They keep getting me.
It's inside. It goes to 3-2.
Look at that kill on the
No, I
broadcast.
didn't get it.
Oh, you didn't get it?
It got away.
1 away. Nobody on here for Scannell of Princeton. The Mariners trailing 7-1 against the Anglers here at Veterans Fields. Payoff pitch from Davis. High tapper over towards the right side. Bouncing ball for Antonacci as he fires on to first, and it's in time. It was actually Kent off the bag as it was Davis moving on to cover at first, and there were 2 away here, and now 7 straight retired as it's been Davis all in a groove.
And I don't even think there's he was safe. I mean, you're going to get a first base coach in Harwich uniform, excuse me, arguing that one, but not going to lose too much sleep over it given the score.
Now 2 down here for Jack Goodman, the 9-hole hitter. The first pitch he sees, a breaking ball. It misses below the belt for ball number 1. Flyouts, groundouts have plagued the Mariners here tonight. Davis taking his time working out of a slanted stance in the middle of the rubber. The pitch outside. Now it goes to 2 balls and no strikes here to Goodwin. The Pepperdine product, a victim of 2 strikeouts here tonight. The 2-ball pitch. Skied foul back behind home plate, removing the mask. Hobson running over towards the track. He makes the catch to his left as he had no trouble with it in getting over towards the Harwich dugout. Down go the Mariners in order for the 2nd straight inning here as they will have 3 chances moving into the latter portion of the 8th here, coming up back in the 9th. Nothing across for Harwich here against Davis for a 2nd straight inning. The Mariners trailing 7-1. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 7-1, the Mariners trail here at Veterans Field, facing the Chatham Anglers for the first time on the road this season. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Dobek here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Dylan Delvecchio stepping out for his third inning of relief here in his fifth relief appearance on the season. Carter Trice, Sam Antonacci due up here. First pitch from the southpaw. Lofted foul, rather into right field. Carrier fighting off the fog, moving to his left back to the warning track, and he won't be able to make the play as it goes all the way back to the wall. And it'll be a double here for Carter Trice. And it's his third hit on the evening. And the fog continues to plague the Mariners as a lack of hitting as well.
Yeah, he just completely lost that. It was a poke way up towards the warning track, and yeah, really tough to see that time. Can't blame Carrier. Just given a victim of the circumstance.
The Anglers, with a team that has had one of the lowest batting averages in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season, not to mention the highest ERA as well, but has looked anything but here as they lead the Mariners 7-1. Here's the first pitch on the way to Sam Antonacci. Then it goes inside to back him off the plate for ball number 1. Anglers entering tonight 5.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East standings, where the Mariners remain just a point shy of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox going into tonight, 1-0. Changeup goes down the middle, it goes to 1-1. Anglers 3-3-1 at home this season, but we're just 1-8 on the road entering tonight. The floodlights fully on here. The fog continues to swarm here. The 1-1 tapped back behind home plate will be 1-2. Sam Antonacci will have to protect here. But 4 errors here tonight in addition to 14 hits for the Anglers, certainly turning it into a lopsided game here against a Mariners team that has looked to 2 relievers. Meanwhile, Chatham looking to just 1. Delvecchio back out of the stretch here with Trice off of second on a leadoff double to right. 1-2, half swing, and it's lobbed down the left field line. It's through for a base hit. That will score 1 here in Carter Trice as he scores easily on a wide turnaround third. And it's an RBI base hit here for Sam Antonacci. It's Mariners 1 and Chatham Anglers 8 here in the 9th.
Nothing is going the Mariners' way in this one, with that leadoff hit going out to Carrier in the fog. That hit, a half swing that somehow stays in play to score that runner on second.
Credit to Chatham. They got 15 hits as a team, though.
First pitch on the way here to Xavier Casarillo. Rolled over to second. The throw onto second for 1 is in time. The throw on to first is not in time for been a 4-6-3 double play. Fielder's choice here for Casarillo as he reaches for the second time here today after a single to shortstop back in the 3rd inning. So now 1 away here to bring up Caden Kent here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mariners trailing 8-1 here against the Chatham Anglers. But the Anglers have certainly been forcing the Harwich defense to work in the infield here.
That hit differential is something that should be on Anglers' list to get into these guys' heads. 15-3
against the bottom team in the division.
Kent, the southpaw, waits the first pitch, and he swings and misses all the way out of his shoes that time.
Yeah, he was really tied up. Wow.
I haven't seen a guy dance like that at the plate.
76-mile-an-hour curveball from Delvecchio. Working out of the stretch here, the 0-1. Nubbed foul to the left side. The 0-2 here to Kent. Double to right field back in the second, struck out swinging in the third. Ground out 3-1 in the 5th. And a 1-out triple back in the 7th inning. 2 base hits here, tries to move Casarillo into scoring position here as he reached on a fielder's choice. A 2-strike pitch from Delvecchio, serve foul back behind home plate. The count stays where it is.
Yeah, these little gnats are driving me nuts over here. Holy cow, they're everywhere now.
They're starting to get to you.
Yep. No, they really are. They're becoming a factor.
Hitting has been a factor here for the Anglers, getting to Delvecchio, Armstrong, and Savino here tonight. 8-1 lead for the Anglers. 0-2. Jammed back behind home plate.
Almost got the TrackMan machine there.
There's almost a friendly fire on the last one we saw, almost the TrackMan there. He's dancing. We're seeing it all right now.
Yeah, what an eventful at-bat this time for Caden Kent.
8 runs on 15 hits for Chatham, 1 run on 3 hits for Harwich. The pitch tapped over towards the right side foul. We'll do it again. Nobody out here for, rather 1 out here for Chatham Castorilla standing off of first after a leadoff double to right field from Carter Trice of NC State. Castorilla last night against Falmouth, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Found a way to redeem himself here. The 0-2, a slider misses low and away. Delvecchio in his third inning of relief here. He's given up 4 hits and has 2 earned runs for the time being here. Ground ball double play opportunity available here for the Mariners. The 1-2. Breaking ball lofted out towards left field, and it goes well foul.
It's been a really good at-bat, hanging in there, fouling off pitches, making Delvecchio come to him. That is Kent. Been doing a great job.
It is a fantastic battle at the plate here with this one. He knows how to stay alive, that's for sure.
Caden Hobson's on deck, the only Anglers batter without a hit here tonight. The 1-2 from and it's a swing and a foul tip. That draws him down to a knee here. Trying to shake it off to the right of the home plate circle here. Look to maybe foul it off of either his cleat or his leg. Shaking off the left foot here. Runner on first, Castorilla, after an RBI base hit from Sam Antonacci to make it an 8-1 Anglers lead. The 1-2. Slider on the outer half, and it takes a bounce in the dirt. It'll go to 2-2 here to Caden Kent. Pitch count starting to climb here for Dylan Delvecchio. Up to 52 pitches here through 2 1/3 innings. The 2-2. Tapped over towards the right side. Scannell moving to his right, fires to second to Camarillo, and they get the leading runner in Xavier Castorilla. Another fielder's choice here as Caden Hobson reaches for the 3rd time here today, and they're 2 away.
That was a really nice job by Scannell as the ball was pulling him towards the second base bag. He just went with it, was able to get the lead runner. Really nice job there to make sure they could get an out. Would have been a tough play and a close play at first base.
That brings up Caden Hobson 0 for 2 with a pair of walks here today. An Anglers lineup that has done next to everything. A handful of multi-hit games for this Anglers squad. The first pitch, low and outside for ball number 1 here to Hobson, the catcher. Grounded out to second, back in the second. Earned a walk in the 3rd. Flied out to right field back in the 5th. And earned a walk in the 7th. The 1-0 from Delvecchio. Fastball zips high for ball number 2. 2 away. The Mariners behind the Anglers 8-1 here in their first trip to Veterans Fields on the season. Floodlights fully on here in the outfields. Fog still looming in the outfield as well. 2-0. Fastball swung on and missed. It goes to 2-1. Mariners at 10-6 on the season, set to return home to face Katuitt at White House Field tomorrow night. The 2-1. Fastball tapped past the mound over towards the right side. Goodman fires on a first, and it's in time. So not a huge jam for Delvecchio to get out of this time, as he still gives up an RBI base hit all the while. It's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left stranded. Going into the top of the 9th, the Mariners have their last licks, coming up down by 7 at 8-1 here from Veterans Field. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the order due up for the Mariners here to start the 9th inning as Harwich trails Chatham 8-1. 8 runs on 15 hits, no errors for the Anglers. And for the Mariners in their first visit to Veterans Field this season, 1 run on 3 hits, 4 errors, a season high for this Mariners team, entering at 10-6 here and 4-3 away from White House Field. Camarillo stepping up here. First pitch, fastball down the middle for strike number 1. Wyatt Copeland, Devin Dobeck, and Sean Sears, our producer, here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners with just 3 hits to this point, no hits through since the 6th. The 0-1. Slider dips low. New pitcher into the ball game here in Carson Benj, a right-handed two-way player. And after going 0 for 4 against Falmouth last night with an RBI groundout, he steps on here for what just might be the final inning. A 1-2, a fastball taken on the outer half. It's 1-2. Just underway here in the top of the 9th. The Mariners trailing the Anglers 8-1. Mason Guerra on deck. He's 0 for 3. Jones in the hole at 0 for 3. Fog still swarming the outfield. The 1-2. Called looking on the lower half. A fastball that had Camarillo watching for too long as he has some words for the home plate umpire and Tom Carilli. And there's 1 away here in the 9th.
And that's been an ongoing theme tonight. Ali not loving the strike zone that's being called against him.
The Mariners striking out for the 8th time here tonight after they went down in order in the 7th and the 8th. Had a 1-out double from Camarillo back in the 6th, but did nothing to score him at that point. The first pitch inside to Guerra on a fastball for ball number 1. Anglers 8, Mariners 1. Just 3 hits for the Mariners in the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th. Here's the pitch. Taken down the pipe, and it goes to 1-1 on a fastball to the Oregon State product in Guerra. Mariners have lacked their timely hitting here again tonight after getting just enough for a 7-3 victory last night. 1-1 goes low. 2-1 here to Mason Guerra. Victim of 2 flyouts and struck out swinging. Mariners have been sloppy in the infield as well here tonight. Have had their chances to score. 2-1. Fastball outside. 3-1.
Mariners have more errors than they have hits, and they have the same amount of errors as they have hits and runs combined. That just kind of tells you all you need to know about the way this ball game's been played.
The 3-1. Bounced over towards the left side. Fabian at the lip of the outfield grass fires onto first. A bouncer that's not dug out as it goes all the way to the fence. And there's a 1-out base runner here on an E6.
See how they rule it. It looked like it would have been a close play at first base. It might be ruled a hit. We'll have to wait and see how the score is feeling. It is going to be a hit.
First hit for the Mariners since the 6th inning as they trail the Anglers 8-1 here with 1 down in the top of the 9th. Down to their final 2 chances, they set up one of their top RBI hitters in Kennedy Jones. So a single to shortstop here for Mason Guerra. He gets on the board with a hit. Here's the first pitch. Fastball chopped over towards the left side, moving to his left. Casarilla fires on a second, and that's all they get as Jones will reach on a fielder's choice here. Anglers have been really sharp in the field here today. Mariners, not so much, as it's a 5-4 putout, and the Mariners are down to their final chance to bring up Lorenzo Carrier. Meanwhile, Mason Guerra moving to a 3-game hit streak in as many games as he's been here for Harwich. Just past the 1/3 mark of the season.
I'll tell you, it would be one heck of a story, Wyatt. Come back here in the 9th.
Carrier watches it low and away for ball number 1. And he has yet to get a hit here. You'd think that with him being one of the more versatile hitters in the lineup, that he might just find a way to move the runner in Jones over in a scoring position. But 1-0. Smash foul down the right side. It'll be 1-1. Carrier with a strikeout swinging back in the 2nd, grounded out to first back in the 4th, and flat out to left back in the 7th. As the Mariners trail the Anglers 8-1 here. 15 hits for the Anglers and 4 hits for the Mariners. Down to their final chance, the 1-1. Slider swung on a miss. It's 1-2. Mariners have 1 strike to spare here. Carrier now having to protect against Carson Benj, entering for the 9th inning here. Final line on Davis, 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Very efficient 4 innings from Davis. Jones, the runner on first, the 1-2. Slider misses high, goes to 2-2 here. Middle and bottom of the order combining for just 1 hit, or 2 hits rather, here tonight. And the 2-2 to Carrier. Fastball swung on and missed. As the Mariners fall to 10-7 on the season with a disappointing 8-1 loss here at the hands of the Chatham Anglers at Veterans Field. A ball game that lasted just nearly 3 hours at 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Not including the delay, or including the delay, rather.
The Mariners were hampered by a 20-minute fog delay as they take the loss and move to 1-1 against the Anglers here in the season series. As we move directly here into the Mariners post-game show here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network, our producer Sean Sears and my broadcast partner Devin Dobek here with us on tonight's game broadcast. And well, we said it multiple times throughout the innings, the Mariners making blunders in the infield once again. They had 2 last night, and today they tried to go home twice, didn't get the tag early. That tagged them for some early runs in addition to a few other mistakes.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those games you got to just close the book on. It was not their best game on offense or defense, just 4 hits, and they had 4 errors on defense. Really, just nothing went their way here tonight. And you got to just close the book. You got a really good Katuitt team coming in, and you're going to have to play your best baseball to beat the #1 team in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
So Davis picks up the win here after going 4 innings, allowing just 1 earned run. Meanwhile, the Mariners getting only 2 1/3 innings, a start out of Joe Savino. He gets tacked with the loss here in what just might have been one of his final starts as he's set to transfer from Elon after 3 years, moving into Virginia.
And yeah, a true Mariner great. He was the pitcher of the year on the team last year. That's the in-team award, I should say. And it's just really great. He's been so great. One of the friendly faces, always says hi to you, always willing to talk, always willing to take pictures, sign an autograph, do an interview. He will be missed if this is the last time we've seen him, but not enough good things to say about Joe Savino. Real class act, stand-up guy, and he's going to do great things in Virginia.
An 8-1 loss for the Mariners here at Veterans Field against a struggling Chatham team that moves to 5-11-1 on the season and inches a little bit closer coming into tonight, 5.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East standings. Meanwhile, it seemed as if the Mariners fell victim to just that lack of hitting that Chatham has experienced all season long.
Yeah, the message from Steve Angler tonight has to be goldfish memory. This is not Mariners baseball that we saw tonight. Mental mistakes really cost them this game. We saw a couple tough plays at second, a couple tough plays at the plate with the catcher just forgetting to tag runners. Gave them easy runs, let them get momentum, and just build this lead that the Mariners could not overcome.
Game played in 2 hours and 57 minutes as the Mariners dropped to 10-7 on the season. Chatham ascending to 5-11-1. Savino gets tagged with the loss as Davis earned the win here. 8 runs on 15 hits for the Chatham Anglers. 1 run on 4 hits, 4 errors for the Harwich Mariners. They drop to 4-4 on the road this season, still 6-3 at White House Field. Going into tomorrow at White House Field, taking on the Katuitt Cavaliers. A little bit of momentum already here in the series this season.
Yeah, they got that big win down at Lowell Park. They were down 4-0, came back, scored 9 runs, but that was, of course, fueled by a 4-hit performance from Seaver King. He was fantastic. Got on base 5 times, I believe, in that game, and you're going to need to have someone step up in the same way he was able to. Those 4 hits would have matched the Harwich total here tonight, so that just tells you what you need to know about the offense. They got to find a new look, a new face, maybe shake up the order, but really need some help.
Talk about a guy who has been missed. Seaver King, big part of this team, as well as Kalen Culpepper. Once they left, it has not been the same Mariners team we were used to. They'll have to show something against the Katuitt Cavaliers tomorrow, or else it's going to be an ugly one.
Interdivision matchup between between Harwich and Katuitt going into White House Field tomorrow. 5:30 first pitch. Will be here with you at 5:25 p.m. But that will start a new opportunity for the Mariners to get back in the win column. Harwich falling 8-1 here against the Chatham Anglers. That will just about wrap it up here from Veterans Field. The Mariners and the Anglers even at 1 game apiece in the season series. For my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, and for our producer, Sean Sears, guiding us through the night as the 3rd member of our broadcast crew here tonight on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. I'm Wyatt Copeland saying so long one final time. Your score here from Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. Chatham 8, Harwich 1, as you've been listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We wish you a good night.